Freedom, I never had the chance to run. Leave behind the said and done. Figure out what's to come. Reasons, all the bigger things I can't ignore. I'm not getting what I came here for. Gotta get ahead of something more. So I think I found a new way out, way beyond a shadow of doubt. 'Cause I can't breathe, and I guess I could be stronger now, and leave it up to fate somehow.
I'm fucking looking! You see the transaction? Yes, boy. Certainly the best for these quality drivers here at Simplay. Top of the Pro-Am list this week in that Toy Story, though.
Baby, I'm not fooling anyone. Always going on and on. Can't you keep it to yourself for once? Oh, I think I found a new way out, way beyond your shadow of doubt. And I can't breathe. Oh, I hope you're keeping count of all the times you let me down, and all the things you said out loud, the bullshit I could cry about. And I know we could be stronger now, and leave it up to fate somehow. But everything I do for me.
I get lost sometimes and I can't seem to find a light between the walls I built for myself right in my mind. And then you came over and you showed me love that I never had seen before. And now when I got you, it's all gonna be alright. Thinking about all the things we did tonight. What a time to be alive. Just you and I, just you and I. Only you can put the fire out. You can turn it all around. You can lift me off the ground, so we can fly again, so we can fly again. To go out of my mind, and all I need right now is for you to stay the night. But if you keep saying that you've got to leave, then I'm gonna be alright. As long as you tell me that we ain't running out of time. Thinking about all the things we did tonight. What a time to be alive. Just you and I, just you and I. Only you can put my fire out. You can turn it all around. And you can make
decay more slowly than stationary particles. As strange and counterintuitive as it seems, time dilation is a law of nature.
your feet. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Come on, get loose with the heat. Right now, get the body till we black out. So get the fuck up.
had the chance to run, leave behind the said and done, figure out what's to come. Reasons, all the bigger things I can't ignore. I'm not getting what I came here for.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Simplay Motorsport here for round 3 and 4 of the Pro-Am series. We flew to Dubai. It is hot, humid, and these boys are going to be in for a very tricky night. I'm Matthew Duffin, once again joined in the commentary box this Wednesday evening by my partner in crime, Dan. Dan, how are you?
I'm feeling hot and sweaty, Matt. Very hot and sweaty, but yes, we are here at Dubai. I've had to make sure that I brought my bikini with me, my my red bikini here at Dubai. But no, it's nicer to be returning to Dubai, but this time we're in the daytime, so this is going to be an interesting event.
It is going to be interesting. The daytime, not the night time. So the track temperatures, even though it is autumn, according to Peaceful Explosion, they're as hot in autumn as they are in the summer, so it doesn't really change. So these drivers are in for one hell of an evening. What we've got though, Dan, is 13, hopefully 15 as we go through by the end of the night, drivers out there that are going to be battling it out. And we've seen some practice times. One guy in particular looks very, very fast. We're not going to just say who. We're not going to say who just at this moment. But one guy in particular looks particularly rapid tonight, Dan, and he's a man who we're looking forward to seeing. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So we need to keep an eye on that driver. But we are here at Dubai Autodrome, and while we're at this situation, I'll just explain a couple of facts of the Dubai Autodrome. Obviously located in the United Arab Emirates here, and the circuit is 3.3 miles long and approximately 5.3 kilometers long if you prefer it in kilometers. 17 corners with a lap record currently held by Kamui Kobayashi in a GP2 Asian car back in 2008 of a 141.2. Obviously these guys will not be hitting that kind of pace. The track was opened in October 2004 and is an FIA graded 1 circuit. And obviously the big talking point here, Matt, of Dubai Autodrome is tyres. Due to these hotter conditions, it's not necessarily tyre wear, it's more tyre temperature. And like you said, we are in Dubai, we are in the Middle East, and very rarely ever rains here. So these guys are going to have to look after their tyres, especially in the day.
And this was a talking point, Dan, with me and Liam and me and Kelly back in a few weeks ago when we was here in the night time for season 3. Tyres was the big talk then. Now we're in the daytime, middle of the day as well, so scorching hot. It's even worse. And the thing is in practice, the track actually gets hotter for the second race than it does the first race. The track temperature is going to be interesting. The tyres are going to be the most important thing. Will drivers feel of a pit stop? Soft tyre is pretty much out of the question around this circuit. It just will not work. What will work though is will the drivers think of a one-stop change of tyres, or slower lap times throughout the race? That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. So tyres is everything. Everyone will be running hards. Even though some people don't like using the hards, it's really the only option here. There's no other option. If you want the tyres to last, then you have to run the hards. Yeah. I mean, I've been doing a little bit of long run testing, and I don't honestly think a tyre change is necessarily needed. You just got to look after them and nurse them through. They what we've learned at Circuit Catalunya in Spain not long ago in season 3 is that sometimes the tyres go through a heat cycle.
Yes.
As me and Matt obviously figured out in one practice session, sometimes the tyres will get hot, but if you bring them back to temperature, in the right temperature window, they tend to hold on to it. So maybe these drivers will have to push through that heat cycle.
And it's which drivers have learnt that, which drivers know that, who's got that experience of going through that heat cycle. We say good evening to PN Motorsport, Monkey Boy, Jamie Brazier, Disco McDisco Face, Peaceful Explosion, Daniel Francis, Michael Conley, aka Stealth Sloth, and Orthodox is in the chat, as is Smithy as well, and Rabbit Joe, and the Wall in there. So good evening to everybody who is watching, commenting, liking, hopefully as well at the moment. Like and subscribe to this video as we get ready to see who is going through, what is going to happen through this one. Disco and Jamie saying in the chat, not naming names, but he's on the pro pace and he's the quickest out of anyone so far in practice. Now, he's running at pace that the front runners of pro are running. That is how quick this said driver is tonight round here.
Yeah, and said driver, I've only now managed to match, literally a couple of minutes just before this session started, I've only now managed to match this said driver's fastest lap time. So whatever he's done to his car, whatever he's done to set it up, it's definitely going to be difficult to constantly run at that pace. So we'll see how things pan out, really.
Yeah, we'll see how things pan out as Rabbit Joe, currently the quickest man on track from Argent, so we're forever forward 1-2 at the moment. KLF then in third. Here's his teammate Nicky crossing the line, goes P5 behind. Don't Know Mate in fourth. Good luck for Don't Know Mate as a banker out the doors. Now, just to say, Don't Know Mate and Holty was running the same colours as Iron Brew Racing. They've had a change of livery this year, so the Iron Brew Racing are running two separate liveries, and there it is. Look, keeping the blue and orange, but with a bit more black to their car. And Don't Know Mate here, what can he do round this track tonight? Holty should be joining us for race 2, we do believe, if he's home in time. Obviously, he was set to miss every other week, and Don't Know Mate was set to fill in, but with the loss of NJ, these two can now race as a team week in, week out, provided Holty can get back in time. We saw last week down at Brands Hatch 5 or 6 drivers leading a race at some point in what was some great racing at Brands Hatch, along with some poor moments from these Pro-Am drivers. Is tonight a bit more predictable, a bit more straightforward in that the Merc seems the most dominant car around this quickish circuit with no Porsches on this calendar? Do we think that the Merc tonight could be the car to watch?
I wouldn't throw out any of the stable cars. I wouldn't throw out the Lamborghini, for example, or even this Mercedes SLS, to be fair. The thing about the Pro-Am is so wide open, literally anyone could take this. I'd be interested to see how Don't Know Mate gets on in the Audi. I know the Audi has got decent pace, obviously within the hands of Jamie and Mazda, so in the Pro. So it'd be interesting to know how Don't Know Mate gets on. And I know the Audi was fairly strong the last time we turned to Dubai, but I definitely think the Mercedes may have it all their way to start off, but I think overall over a long lap pace they might struggle. Obviously known for a rear wheel drive car, it tends to be quite heavy on the rear tyres, and obviously with being the heat as well, I think at times it could struggle.
Mays game has just gone purple in the middle sector, so let's keep an eye on his time this lap as he looks on a quick one. The other one to note as well is AMG or SLS. That was the big question at Brands Hatch with Alfie and Kieran both having great pace in two different Mercedes-Benz car. What will tonight be is you see there, Mays, you just hear him getting off the gas as he runs very, very wide, uses a few of the track limits there, but obviously post went out to track limits. The Pro-Am boys, gets a slide mid-corner, very twitchy that car snap. Looks, yeah, big snap, and it only puts him third quickest. So say he was purple sector, middle sector, what did he do there? Argent's gone purple sector 1 at this moment as well, so Argent on a bit of a flyer now. He is a man who came on at 11:30 last night to just make a few setup tweaks. That is, bearing in mind, Kieran is an administrator through the day. He's just probably lost a few temps doing that slide. He's administrator through the day. He then runs his own business by taking photography for his local football team, Canvey Island. And he came on at 11:30 after a football match for Canvey, where he was taking his photos, just to tweak the last few minute setup changes. That is commitment.
Yeah, definitely so. And I mean, I tend to be on quite late most nights anyway, just making a few setup changes and tweaks, but not that late. I tend to be done by about 11, so I'm like gone off to bed at that point. And what I'm wanting to see from these Pro-Am guys is what we saw on Monday night, is some great racing, close racing and fair. And if any of you guys didn't see what happened Monday night at the Renault Clio Championship, please have a look back at the stream. I know Matt was commenting on it, and I know I was racing in it. As a driver, I didn't take the win, but I thoroughly enjoyed every single lap that I had with Falguest. Congrats to him again for the race win, but one of the best races that I've had. It's up there with the likes of my race with Gary at Silverstone. It is awesome to watch, so please guys, if you get a chance, have a look at that video, and I really hope that these guys will be doing the same here at Dubai in the Pro-Am. Yeah. I really hope so. What
a race it was, as well as Kelly then has just gone third fastest. I did see it light up purple sector 1, and Kelly, sorry, has just gone fourth fastest, so keep an eye on that Renault tonight. I've said he'd struggle tonight, him and Nicky. I don't think the Renault's got the outright pace, but we can only be left to be proven wrong here. I think the Z4 may struggle in Smithy's hands as well tonight. And yeah, guys, go and check out Clio race, because what a battle from Mays and Dan. There was fights up and down early on. Falguest, sorry. There was fights up and down all night long, and then that last 5 or 6 laps was absolutely incredible to watch. Dan defending brilliantly from Falguest. And just when you thought Falguest had made an error and made a mistake, he came back on that last lap to get a good position and take that race win, as Dan said then. So these guys on track. Dan, do you want to try and pick up a driver to do a lap on? I know there was someone in particular you want to take to pick up tonight. He's about halfway through a lap, so we'll keep an eye on that dot and get back to him when he's there. And if you're wondering why we wanted to pick Rabbit Joe for a lap.
Well, yeah, the reason we picked Rabbit Joe is throughout testing of here at Dubai Autodrome, Rabbit has been looking quickest out of everyone. And I mean everyone, from Pro-Am to Pro. His lap time has been unreal, and he's got this Mercedes hooked up. And we're hoping that if we run on board with Joe, he will be able to give us a perfect lap here at the Dubai Autodrome. But let's be honest, anyone can still hook a lap up here. There's some people that we don't know have been testing. Be interested to see how Smithy gets on. Now he's a lone soldier in that Z4. We'll see how he gets on. But as it shows there, he looks to be struggling a little bit. DJ Phil still struggling to get lap time. As I say that, he does get one on the board of a 2:02.
Alfie not looking very strong at the minute. Dan down in 11th place based off of last week. And you say about the lap from Joe, well, he's gone purple sector 1. So he is looking a quick lad at the minute, and purple sector 2. So we may have missed a lap from Joe. We'll stay on board with him then for the final part of this lap, because purple sector 1 and 2. A lot of these corners are similar to that one that Joe's just gone round there, Dan. Late apex, so he can run a little deeper than normal. And that's something that Merc seems to be strong with, especially around this Dubai track, as well as its power in a straight line. And Joe here looking very good through the last corner. Dan, I'll let you talk us through a lap.
Well, yeah, so we see there Joe exiting the final corner to start a lap here at the Dubai Autodrome. He does a 56.4 and he goes into the pits. How ironic is that? As we thought. So let's see who we could get. Here we go. Dean Wasocki, and he spins.
Yeah, Dean, keep it together. There you go. Oh, no.
I think Dean will probably struggle with this one. Should we stick with Kelly? We'll stick with Kelly. So Renault as well. This is going to be an interesting one with the Renault, because obviously, due to the fact that this car is more based on the setup and being really planted, I think the Renault will benefit in the tight, twisty section, especially Sector 1. But in the Sector 2, maybe Sector 3 as well, it might struggle with overall top speed. We know how slow that this car is in a straight line, but in the corners, it is probably one of the best. I arguably say that the Acura is probably the best car in the corners due to the fact that it is so planted. Yes, Matthew Duffin, I said that. I reckon the Acura is the best in corners, but it's so down on power, it can't gain in that situation. But we'll do a lap with KLF 900. We'll stick with Sticky.
Right, while you do that one then, I'm just going to run to the toilet while you quickly take us through a lap.
Well, let's go. A lap here of Dubai Autodrome. Kelly going down the main straight. This is going to be flat out all the way down to turn 1. The engine will be getting very, very hot as we now go into turn 1. You just want to brake just past the 100 meter ball, as Kelly does. Come off the brakes as he goes slightly downhill and into turn 1, kissing the apex, and then just kiss the apex of turn 2. Turn 3 and 4 is where the left-hand side tyres are going to burn up really quick, so you really do have to be very careful with those tyres. And then into turn 5 and 6, and again, this is where the tyres are going to burn. They're going to get really hot. Left-hand side tyres are really going to struggle as Kelly takes a really tight line into that section, and then the tyres will get a little bit of breathing space as they come into this double apex left-hander. Some people take it wider and take a late apex. Some people go in early and go wider. Slightly banked like the circuit of Zandvoort, so you can run a bit more speed than you actually can, and then down the long back straight. This would be a perfect opportunity for an overtaking opportunity. If you're close enough, you can get a decent tow down the main straight and down the inside of into the hairpin. As Kelly comes up to the hairpin now and he brakes at the 100 meter board, get it stopped in a straight line and then get it turned in, clip the apex, but make sure you stay in tight, because that will open up the next corner, left-hander, and if you're brave enough, you can take that flat, but it's very, very rare. But it will send you out wide. And then another late apex corner, come on to the left-hand side so you get the right-hander. And again, some people take a different line, some like to take it tighter, some like to take it wider, and Kelly exits that final corner. This kind of back straight isn't really a straight, but again, you can get a good run into this like kind of no corner left-hander and then launch it down the inside and catch someone out. And again, multiple different lines through here. Some people take it wide and tight, some people go tight and wide. But if you go tight, it opens up the right-hander into the penultimate corner. Very easy to run wide and take track limits. But then we go into the final corner, and I tend to take a wider line entry, clip the apex, and once again, you can go wide, but it's again, track limits is limited. And we exit the final corner. Kelly exits the lap, and does he improve? He does not, but he's only a 10th off, and that is a lap of the Dubai Autodrome circuit.
That is a lap of Dubai Autodrome. And I tell you what, Dan, we've said about Joe being quickest and just doing a lap there. This isn't even qualifying. I forgot 20-minute practice session. So
Yeah.
this is just practice. 5 minutes left of the practice session before we qualify. Holty is in then, so the Iron Brew Racing team are in together as well. And with 5 minutes left of practice, Joe, what does he need to tweak? Does he think that I've got the pace for qualifying, go out to do some final race runs, make sure that race setup feels nice and set up?
The thing is, these guys have been testing all week, and the last thing you want to do is make changes and alterations to your car at the very last minute. You don't know what's going to be different. You don't know what's going to change. Temperatures are going to be similar. Everyone's been running the same temperatures. Everyone's been running the same thing. Here at Dubai, it's always hot, hot, hot. So it's always about... It's just making the final tweaks to yourself, in my opinion. The car is where you want it to be, and it's how it's running. You know, it's exactly where you want it. You've just got to make the few little things in your head. Have I got this sorted? Have I practiced my pit entry? Have I practiced pit stops? Have I practiced how much fuel I'm going to need for this? It's the small little details now to make that final adjustment to the end. And also, some of these guys will be talking about strategy. They'll be talking about pit entry and what laps they're going to be pitting in. Of course, tonight will be an early pit stop. Will be a lap 5, I believe.
Lap 5, yeah.
Yep, so these guys can pit at lap 5, so they're going to start working together. Obviously, the likes of Mays and a couple others are independent, so they're going to have to figure out for themselves when the best time to come in. So it's all about the final tweaks here and there to yourself before you get going for the final race prep.
Yeah, 3.5 minutes left then in this one. Who's going to do what in the final practice moments? Who is testing what? People may not be running full qualifying setups in a minute because of that factor. They may just be running race runs. Those who don't get on a lot may just be running a race run just to get the final bit sorted.
The other thing is, the nice thing about coming back to Dubai is still fresh in people's mind. We've raced here not long ago. It was on the back end of the season, the penultimate round, if I remember. So everyone's still fresh in their mind of how to race here at Dubai. I know it's been a couple of months since we've raced here, but everyone still have it fresh in their minds to them. And I vaguely remember you saying, Matt, a couple of days ago to myself and the rest of the other drivers, saying that you reckon this will be a tyre change. And like I said, I've done a few bit of testing, and I genuinely don't think it will be a tyre change. It could happen for some drivers, but if you look after your car, look after the tyres, you could do the whole race on one set of tyres. Yeah,
we'll have to see which cars are better on their tyres than the others, and also which driver is that bit smoother, because the smoother you are, the better you'll look after them. A few spins and that could ruin your night, and you may just feel, do you know what, a fresh set of boots may do the job for me in terms of getting a couple of places towards the end. Welshie then we're just on board with at the minute, P6 at the minute, so a better outing so far in practice for Welshie. He's obviously looking a bit stronger here as KLF has gone purple sector 1. That is wrong, because Joe did a 47, Kelly's done a 49.2, so the app clearly is having a bit of a bugged out moment there, and saying Kelly's purple when he's not at the minute. And he doesn't look really rapid as he comes around this part of the track, does he? It looks like he's...
No. And again, I think some people are just making the few little changes that they need for their race setups. Yeah. Maybe fuel is maybe what they're looking at, the tyres, what kind of conditioning. Because let's be honest, most drivers go for fastest laps in practice. They try to go as fast as they can.
The other one as well, Dan, is radiator opening and front duct opening. Now, obviously, you close the ducts, close the radiator, get a quick lap in, great. But around such a hot circuit like this, the more that radiator is closed, the more engine wear and damage you're going to be getting to that car. So maybe just playing about with it, seeing what the limits are in terms of how much can I push with an engine radiator opening, at 50%, 60%, 70%. I know that when I've drove the Mercedes in the week, I've ran the radiator at 100%, because I think round this track especially, why take the gamble?
Yeah, definitely so. And I think some of the rear engine cars like the Audi, Porsche, stuff like that has the engine in the rear will struggle here due to the temperatures. I know for a fact that when I raced here last season and we had the cooler night conditions, the Porsche was killing its engine so quick. I think by the end of the race I was at 10, maybe 11 engine damage, and that's with a repair as well. So we're in hotter conditions here in the day, so who knows what's going to happen, and they're going to have to short shift. They're going to have to look after the engine. They're going to have to be careful with tyres, engine. It's not the fact of you're racing against others. It's you're racing against yourself. Yeah. You're racing against how patient you can be with the car.
And that seems to be what Dubai is, how patient you are on the throttle, how patient you are with your tyres, with your engine, with your car itself. The more you look after your car around this track, the better the result you see. As we see Holty now, not the greatest of starts for Holty. last week, but he'll be looking to redeem that. While we have a couple of minutes left of practice, let me just run you through the current classifications. Obviously, tonight, the first round of the drop scores tonight, so next week's tables, I forgot to post this week's. Apologies, a few personal things that's been going on over the weekend for me to not be able to post them. But drop score will take place tonight. But Argent leads the way on 34 points, 1 point ahead of Nicky. Daniel Francis 7 behind, with Don Productions 8 behind. Don not yet in, and that's a real shame to not see the Bentley on track. Alfie then in P5 with Rabbit Joe in 6th. Holty 7th, 14 off the title lead. KLF in 8th. DJ Filger in 9th. Stovsloff in 10th with Walsh 11th. Maze Gamer 12th. NJ 13th, but we believe we've lost NJ for the season. Don't know mate 14th, Dean Wasaki 15th, Smithy 16th, and in the Constructors' Championship it's Forever Forward who lead the way 7 points ahead of Team Prolapse, with Piston Broke on 42 in 3rd, Iron Brew Racing on 30, 3D Printing on 28, Lone Wolf Motorsport 26, MC Motorsport 25, Team Prolassi 10, and Team Cool Runnings 14 points. One driver taking their double points tonight. We'll tell you who that is at race 2. We never reveal who it is in the first race. We'll reveal who that is on race 2, but a lot of drivers tonight, Dan, with a point to prove after last week. This man especially had good pace in the off-season at Brands Hatch and didn't really show it to us. He has a big point to prove tonight.
I reckon this car is going to be an absolute handful tonight, an absolute handful, just due to the fact that obviously it's very big engine, I think it's one of the fastest cars in the game, but due to the fact that it's very twitchy in the rear end, it's worse than the AMG Mercedes. But as we can see, Rabbit Joe already setting the pace and carrying on where he left off in practice. Yeah,
can he do that now in qualifying? We've got 10 minutes. Holty in the chat. Evening all. This will be fun. Never done a lap around here. It says Holty. This is going to be fun for him. Speak yourself. I was on 0 damage, says Jamie Brazier. So I presume that's in terms of engine damage for the Audi last time round. And Rabbit Joe never changed the setup on race night in practice or in quali. So Joe goes with what he knows before on the day. That is what he's got throughout the week, and he goes with that one. Then, as you see, the 2 piston broke Mercedes-Benz coming out in unison. Then, new for the Pro-Am this year is the manual pit exits as well. So that's something the drivers had to get used to. What was you going to say, Dan?
I was just interested to think what people thought is the best looking car on the grid in the Pro-Am. I mean, there's a couple of very good looking cars. Obviously, the Golf looking Mercedes do look very nice. The Iron Brew Racing, I prefer the new Iron Brew Racing look, if I'm honest. I don't like the other look. I think this black livery look is a lot cleaner, a lot smarter looking. Obviously, I'm going to have to say something about the Prolapse boys, obviously, because I race for them. So, but the Renault, the blue, definitely not my cup of tea. But I do have to say as well, the Mercedes SLS is quite good looking as well, to be fair. Yeah,
it is. I do like the SLS. You're right about the Iron Brew Racing, and there's something about the Renault that's just catches the eye. That lovely blue and orange just catches the eye. I also like the 2 yellow Lamborghinis that we've got.
Who doesn't love a Lamborghini?
Yeah.
Who doesn't love the Lamborghini? But if I were to pick a car here at the Pro-Am, it would definitely be this Audi that's facing the wrong way of Don't Know Mate. I think, if anything, I would, if I were to go and buy one of these cars, it'd be this Audi in this livery. It looks very clean and very smart.
Yeah, I have to agree with you.
Matt?
No, I think I'm going to have to go these Lamborghinis. I just like the yellow. I prefer the blue one over the green, but I prefer blue over green as it is. But I just like the yellow. You don't see a lot of yellow cars, and I just think it looks smart. It like the Audi, like you say, it's clean. There's nothing. It's not like that. You know, there's not a lot happening on the car. Like that, there's everything happening on the car. There's even a dinosaur on the back. A lot of these cars are clean, but I'd put the Audi and the Renault in my top 3.
Nice. So we're about to get underway here for qualifying. I best get the track map up so we can see who is where. That'd be nice to see, as Nicky's about midway through. I think Rabbit Joe is one of the lead cars, I think.
Now, we've had a disqualification for speeding in the pit lane. There's a car sat in the pits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nobody in P7. That is Smithy then, and that will explain why he's put Bummer in the chat. Smithy then disqualified, and we'll start at the back of the grid, so not the qualifying session. Smithy wanted first out, Dan.
No, definitely not, and he's just going to have to sit and wait. Just maybe it's not a bad thing. Maybe starting at the back might benefit him, to be honest. So, as we just run on board with Rabbit Joe, the man who is setting the pace, and let's be honest, the lap times that he's setting in practice, he honestly probably doesn't need to be setting them here in the Pro-Am. I don't think anyone's going to really be bothering him for over-out pace. Maybe his teammate is maybe the only man who could really get close but it's all going to be about the race. There's no prizes for obviously for qualifying. Only 1 point for taking it for pole position. But other than that, what are you to gain? You got it. It's all about the race.
No, it is. You're exactly right. But Joe here, nice and clean through sector 1, and he breaks in towards the hairpin corner. Where a few different braking zones, as you found out behind me the other night, Dan. Oh, it's Alfie there. Oof. Just comes straight back onto track and just cuts the nose of Joe. If Joe's had to get out of that one there as well as Alfie to the outside. Joe's struggling a little bit here.
I was going to say, this is the other problem. When you're in a practice session, you tend to have only a handful of cars that are with you. So you get clear air. Now you're in a proper qualifying session with 14 other cars on track. You need clear air at times. Unless you're at a place like Monza, Daytona or something like that where you need the tow, then you want to be following another car. But here at Dubai, where the corners are changing all the time, and you want that space, as Joe is now eventually past Alfie and will be the first man to set a lap time, you want that clear air. I know I do. I don't want any cars around me, so I make that space. But it's a short qualifying session. That's the other problem.
That is the other problem, and the thing is as well, Dan, at the minute is Joe, even with that poor middle sector, is still purple, and a 58 dead as a first lap to the pits and out the pits straight away. So not his best, as Alfie then does a 2-minute 1.8. It wasn't the best lap from Alfie we saw in front of Joe. Here comes Stealth Sloth. He crosses line and does a 2:05.1. DJ Phil Green will be next up. What can he set? He goes second place at the moment as Argent quickest through sector 1 and Kelly quickest through sector 2 as well. She crosses the line, then he goes P4. So Kelly quickest in the middle sector. Oh, and just runs the track limits, it looked a little bit there towards the end. He is slipstreaming his teammate. And is that why he's quickest through the middle sector, as Nicky sacrificed his lap for Kelly to get the better run? But it's not going to help him out the final corner because they're not slipstreaming each other here. And Nicky will go P8. Kelly then goes P2. So that to me would say that, has Nicky gave up a bit of his lap there to let Kelly have the slipstream?
He possibly might have, especially down the back end of the circuit. But that's roughly what Kelly was been setting, even in clear air. So Kelly's kind of roughly at his pace with or without the tow, really.
Dean.
You see Dean in the background again, a little bit heavy-footed as Argent and Mays comes through the final few corners. I honestly think Argent's the only man who could really challenge, or as I say that,
well, you say
Mays
that,
gamer.
Yes. Well then, Mace 2/10 quicker than Rabbit Joe at the minute, and it's not a lot as Dean moves out the way then. No, he's not on a quick one down the straight, and obviously looking to get the next lap underway as Rabbit Joe. What's his answer? And it is an out lap for Rabbit Joe, and we're just looking at the time screen. Green's through sector 1, so personal bests, nothing more than
Rabbit
that.
Joe is on an out lap, I believe.
Yeah, he is, yeah. So wisely getting out the way of Welchie there. Look, and staying well out the way, finding a bit of space on track. These two teammates last year as well at Straight Line Racing in the Porsche last year, so respect for each other in that way. And Joe keep doing a favour to his old teammate staying out the way. Don't know, mate, sorry. Heck of a job in P6 at the moment, ahead of half the pack so far. So good qualifying lap from Don't Know, mate. And that's not bad for him to start out with. And he's green through sector 1. What can he do as he comes up to the sector 2 time in line? Green again, but he's down on his delta. So green and green on my phone, down on his delta on the game. So not sure what that one is.
Yeah, definitely not sure about that one. But we've got a couple of cars exiting the final few corners here. Last few chances. So we've got Stealth Sloth and DJ Phil coming through the final corner. Stealth Sloth improves, as so does DJ Phil. These guys are now starting to get into the flow of things here. Lap times are starting to come down. I'm just trying to find the right kind of people to be keeping an eye on. I believe Daniel Francis, though.
Oh, who's that?
Is one of them.
Is that
I think that might have been Holty. No, I think that's Don't Know, mate. Yeah, you're right. He had a little moment.
What a shame.
Daniel Francis in the Mercedes just coming. Do you know what? Props to Kelly right now. He's the only car to be separating the Mercedes.
Yeah, 5 Mercedes on the track, and he is the one that's in between them. Daniel there. Oh, just touch and go on the track limits, and gets it back on track, doesn't improve. So it won't go against him either way there. But no, props to Kelly massively for splitting them Mercs. Dean has just come in the pits and out the pits. No, that's Alfie. Sorry, Dean's already out on track.
Yeah, so if we have a look now, May's obviously setting the pace in the Mercedes. Then we got Rabbit Joe in another Mercedes, and then the two further forward Mercedes of Arjun and Joe in second and third. Then we got the Renault at KLF, and then the piston broke pair of Daniel Francis and DJ Phil. Yeah. Now, the other thing we got to take into account, Matt, have some of these guys put extra bit of fuel in so they can keep the tyres, and they've done a cool down lap, and then they do another lap again, because they know obviously the tyres are going to get hot, they're going to get worn. Are they doing a cool down and then go, or are they coming into the pits, get the temperature? Because it won't take long to get back up to temp.
No, it'll take a sector. When they're already up to that little bit of temperature, it'll take a little sector to get them back up to temperature. Is that the case? Joe then quickest through sector 1 as here comes Argent to finish a lap. Not on a great one. I think this is an outlap for Argent. Dan Francis then has just got himself a grid penalty, speeding in the pit lane. You see the little red marker on his name. He's picked himself up a time penalty, a grid penalty then, and will not start 5th. But what will it be? 1, 2 or 3? We'll have to find out in just a moment. But Daniel Francis said grid penalty for him as Stove comes out the pits. I don't think Stove has got time for another lap. Dan Francis, DJ Phil, Don't Know Mate and Alfie are all in the pits. They won't do another lap. Joe, purple sector 1, green sector 2, it says on my phone. He rounds the final corner now. He's got Welshie behind him, who's in 8th at the minute. Can Welshie improve? Will Joe improve? He does and goes pole by 7/10 of a second nearly. Joey's done. So that is Joe's best. It's slower than his practice time, but he is done in this session. He's not got time to get another lap in 54 seconds.
So is he now just going out to be traffic? I mean, that's the only other thing that he could do, but he has done the job. He is on pole position.
Yeah.
He's going back into the pit. So Mays and Argent have got to step it up now. I don't really see Argent getting closer to that.
No.
But Kelly, I think, will struggle.
Who's the two coming towards the end, Dan, at the final corner? Is that Mays and Dean?
Let's have a look here.
Yeah, it's
Dean's
Mays
one of them.
and Dean. So Dean, 23 seconds off the pace, needs to get that on the pace here, and crosses the line. Does he improve? No, but gets one more bite of the cherry. Mays then comes round the corner. I think he backed off to let Dean get a gap so he could go for a final run, and so he does then. So I think the next car to come round will be the first car to finish the session.
Who is that? It's not Kelly, I think.
Stealth Sloth. Yeah, I think it's Nicky. It's Nicky then. So Nicky down in P12, 10 seconds off the pace. Not really the qualifying for Nicky in this one. Don't forget a point for pole in Q1 and Q2 now as Nicky crosses the line. First man to finish, he goes P11. Wow, so that Renault showing what it's not capable of really in a straight line. Then next man to finish. Well, she's coming to the pits. I think it was Holty. Was it not? No, it's Argent. So it was Argent. Oh, well.
Dropped it.
There goes his chance at pole. He's dropped it around the final corner. Don't forget, on the limits of the curb is track 2 wheels off, but the curb is allowed. Yep. Got that one noted, Daniel. As Stove then comes round. Can he improve on a P10? Behind Alfie by just over a second. And doesn't improve there. So he's not going to improve. Holty then the next man to finish. What can he do as we head into the mid-session, into the little break before qualifying? It's Kelly behind him. Oh, all over the curb there, and a big twitch for that Audi. And not where he'd have wanted to be at all. And Holty rounds that final. Sorry, go on, Dan.
I was just saying that Holty was exiting the final corner. The only thing that Kelly does a pit in to practice. So the only thing that's saving Daniel Francis is that the person he's going to be losing pole position to is his not pole position. His place 2 is actually his teammate. So that's the only saving grace that he has. But still, nonetheless, it's a silly error really to be speeding in the pit lane.
Yeah, silly error then. So Argent then looks like he's going to be P3 as Kelly can't catch him for 4th. Rabbit Joe then is your provisional pole man. Only Dean and Maze Gamer on track can stop him. What can Dean do though? He's currently down in 13th. He'll get this lap in. What's it going to be? Oh, wow. P4 in the end for Dean. So good lap. Really put a good one in at the end there. What did Maze Gamer? Maze went pole by 3/10 of a second. Maze Gamer takes the pole position right at the death. What a job from him. What a lap from Maze Gamer there. Absolutely outstanding if you're him. That is one heck of a lap. Just looking down the order, Nicky then. Holty will start 13th. Nicky will start 12th, sorry. Going back up to the top. Maze Gamer with that pole position. What a lap for him. Rabbit Joe then P2, Argent P3, Dean P4. So a good lap from Dean as well to get from the back of the pack all the way up to the front ahead of Kelly as well. So Kelly in P5, not a bad lap for him. Daniel Francis is 6th but will start 7th as his teammate will start 6th with that one grid place penalty. Dean Wistocki P4, we know. Alfie is down in 10th place. Sorry, I'm just updating the spreadsheet as I go along. Smithy will start 14th. Holty then is down in P13, not the qualifying for him. Don't know, mate, in a good... where is Don't Know Mate? In a good P8 there, not bad for Don't Know Mate. So he's still getting used to it. Interesting qualifying that, and Maze Gamer's lap at the end. Well, he left it late, but it was worth the wait.
Yeah, I've raced with Maze Gamer multiple times, and I think that, like I said, Maze has the pace. It's a little bit inconsistent, but there he shows how quick he can be. So it'll be interesting to see how he pulls off the line. But for some reason, he's got a penalty, so he starts actually second.
Oh, did he get I think the game is glitched out there because I didn't see Mays. There is nothing on the timing screen saying Mays has a 1 second penalty, so I'm not sure what that is. But
that's interesting.
That is the only one that has swapped around as well. It's Gev Daniel Francis his penalty. It's Gev Smithy his. I wonder if it's glitched out with Smithy not receiving a penalty starting 14th. It's Gev it Mays somehow. I don't know how. Mays will keep the points. That is clearly a fault with the game. Mays will keep the point for pole position. There is nothing to show that Mays got a 1-place grid penalty. So Mays will keep the point for pole position. That one we'll have to look at. But yeah, interesting that one. So the game's glitched it out and favoured Rabbit Joe. But Dan, all eyes on this start for the Mercedes drivers.
Yeah, I'm just going to do a quick run of the grid. So we do have the front row starting as Rabbit Joe and Maze Gamer from the front row. Second row we'll have Arjun and Dean Wasaki. Third row we'll have KLF and DJ Phil. Fourth row with Daniel Francis and Don't Know Mate there sitting there. Ninth place will be Welshie and Alfie will bring up that 10th place position. On the sixth row will be Stealth Sloth and Nikki bringing up that 6th row position, and at the back on the final row will be Holty and Smithy as well. That is your Pro-Am Race 1 order for the first race here tonight. Matt, it's going to be an interesting one into turn 1. Would you want to put a prediction on who you think is going to take the win?
I'm going to say Argent. Got a feeling Argent could take another race win tonight. Yeah, I don't know why, but I'm going to say Argent. Dan, yourself?
I'm going to say Maze Gamer. I think with the bit clearer, and if he gets the jump that he needs, he'll be gone. I don't think, unless he makes his own mistakes, I think Maze Gamer, for me, it'd be the Maze Gamer or Rabbit Joe, one of the two. But I'm obviously going to stick with my my team and say Maze Gamer.
Yep, nobody making the 50th appearance tonight, but Smithy is on at appearance 44 and 45, so he's nearing that 50 mark then. As the lights come on, the revs rise. We're away here in Dubai, and it is a good start from the middle of the grid between Welshie and Alfie then. Don't Know Mate tries to pull out, but he can't because Welshie's there. Rabbit Joe, though, got a decent getaway as well. Dean Wasaki trying to go with Maze Gamer, and look at Dean just moving to the pit wall. Does he have that edge on Maze going into turn 1? No, he's lost out somewhere. Argent did not get a great launch. Kelly did it up the inside, and clatters the back of Dean Wasaki there and turns him round. And I'm not sure about that one. Dean then still facing the wrong way, staying out of trouble and making sure no one can get past. Allows Kelly to get through before rolling. Turning round then. Disco says if Joey's consistent, T-backs him. But Dan, Kelly, I think a day late, dollar short on that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there to Kelly. He's like he completely missed his braking zone and just went straight into the sign of Dean Wasaki. Not an often mistake that we see from Kelly, and he's just missed his braking zone and hit the back of Dean. So Dean's hard work at getting onto the front row, or near the front, it's just gone to pieces as well. She's had a good start. He's now up to 4th place position. But it is Rabbit Joe who leads the way with Maze Gamer not too far behind, and the other forever forward Mercedes of Arjun currently in that 3rd place position.
What I want to say as well is Maze Gamer goes for the dive and a hairpin on Rabbit Joe and gets that move done. It's a late send-it manoeuvre, but Maze has done it. What I was going to say is shout out to Alfie and Holty from the back of the grid near enough, all the way up to 5th and 6th, who are side by side here at the minute. Someone's lost a spoiler. That is Welshie who's had a problem, and now Alfie's just fell off. That's just dropped off from Alfie there. So a bit of a failure on the back of that Mercedes car, and that one was with Nicky, so Alfie got huge damage. We could see some early pit stops. That didn't look even a hit on Alfie's car. It was just a bit of a door rub, and his rear spoilers come off. That is a strange one.
Yeah, there's all sorts of chaos going on about. Well, she's got no rear. Look at the state of that Lamborghini.
Yeah, that
has happened here.
That has had some major damage somewhere as Alfie takes to the gravel to let people get past as well. She and him then will probably have to pit at the end of this lap. That should give Dean a couple of places. Nicky then on a charge to look at Holty. Holty now P4. The top 3 though, Dan, have absolutely disappeared, and Argent's losing ground on the front 2, but Mays after the first lap of this race losing his pole. He's made sure he takes that back by the end of lap 1. As we say evening to Adam Kalp in the chat, let's go Iron Brew Racing. Well, Holty's had a dream start, and now he's got Nicky right in the slipstream, and look at that Renault in the slipstream. It looks a decent car.
Yeah, Nicky there, just thinking a little bit more. He's got a wise head, Nicky, and he's just thinking better off a little bit there, just backing off. As you see, Welshie and Alfie are both into the pits. Top marks for Smithy for getting up to the pack relatively quickly in that Z4. It looked like he was struggling. A little bit of damage to the front of it though. Now,
yes, now what happened there? Because Kelly was sideways there as Smithy caught the side of him. So what has happened to KLF 900 there? Because just watching back on the replay, yes, Smith Kelly was sideways coming through. Sorry, I've just seen that on my stream. I don't think it's actually come through on the replay yet. Just looking at my switch now.
Yeah, so that was a little bit strange. I think Kelly just dropped it all on his own there as Kevin Keith comes into the comments saying hi all.
Yeah,
my uncle dropping in and saying hello to him as he just sees my dad dropping it. So classic Kelly. But Nicky has done Holty now. I'm not sure where he's done that, but the two piston broke, sorry. Yep. Oh, Daniel Francis get a twitch. Both of these guys are moving their way up through the pack. DJ Phil now overtakes his teammates, but they have got Stealth Sloth not too far behind these guys. But Holty and Nicky are the big benefits from that first start of the race. Yeah, they really are. Just watching that replay back up, Kelly was quite close to the back of Stealth Sloth. I don't know if he just tapped the rear of Stealth Sloth, but either way, something unsettled that Renault, and that allowed Smithy to sort of go into the side of him as Rabbit Joe there, that is track limits. Do you do any Xbox Championships? We don't, unfortunately, at the minute. Just PS4 for the time being, as Holty trying to hunt down Nicky. Rabbit Joe losing touch, and Stealth Sloth here looks like he's having a bit of a better showing as well. Looking racy with the two piston broke Mercedes-Benz here. Daniel's got back in front of DJ Phil then, and Daniel looking to get on the back of Holty here as well. So Holty got passed by Nicky, and he's not been able to keep with that Renault, Dan, unfortunately. We thought the Renault would be down on power tonight, but Holty also now being caught by the piston broke Mercedes of Daniel Francis. We're on board with Stealth Sloth. Down the straight they go, and look at the Mercedes grunt down the straight. You just see DJ Phil pulling away slightly, but Stealth so late on the brakes there and regains all that time he loses. Yeah, the Mercedes does have that benefit of being so strong in a straight line, but then it kills itself in the tight twisty section. It's a little bit twitchy in the corners, so it's going to be difficult for Dan Francis. As they both go deep there, Holty and Daniel Francis both go deep, and that's going to allow DJ Phil and Stealth Sloth to get back onto the back of him. As you see, these guys get really close to him as Stealth Sloth having a twitch. But Nicky, that balanced Renault that we haven't spoken about much, is now in fourth place and is pulling away from these guys. Yeah. As I was saying, the very well suited downforced Renault, keeping his tyres under control, keeping it on track, and Nicky isn't doing the fastest lap times, but he's pulling away from this gap. He is. Maze Gamer and Rabbit Joe just keeping an eye on them. Their gap seems to change as Daniel Francis goes for a late move up the inside, and Holty goes deep. I don't think they touch. Daniel Francis allows his teammate through. And Daniel then allowing Holty through. So was there a little bit of contact? There didn't seem to be, but maybe there was, because Daniel Francis down there lets Holty back through, and very respectful of him. Yeah, very, very close there. I think Daniel Francis went for the late dive. Holty then went to defend for it, moving slightly under the braking, but it seemed fair enough. He had him covered, and then Daniel was obviously just running him a bit wide. So maybe Daniel thinking that, okay, maybe I need to give the place back just to make sure I don't get a penalty and try and make a better move in front. But DJ Phil now is the cork in the bottle and is going to be holding these guys up. Holty will be struggling to make a move on them. But what I've also just noticed is that Rabbit Joe has brought that gap down to Maze Gamer and is now down to 5 tenths between these two. Who is looking after their tyres a little bit better? Maze doing a 2-minute 002, while Rabbit Joe is still in the 59s and Argent is still in the 59s as well. The Forever Forward guys have got a great race setup by the looks of things. Yeah, they look like they have there. And is it just about tyre management? Who is better? Where is that? Is Stealth Sloth and Kelly side by side in the background as Daniel Francis goes for a move on Holty, and Stealth Sloth losing out to Kelly. And Don't Know Mate is that Don't Know Mate? Yeah, that's his Don't Know Mate. He's just ahead of these two in P8. So good stuff from Don't Know Mate to be back where he qualified as. The two piston broke boys there running on over the track limits a little bit. I bet the tyres are going to be screaming soon with racing like this, says Adam Calpin. Yeah, I can imagine they are already. I can imagine a few of these Mercedes ones especially. I don't know about the other cars, but Mercedes especially will be a bit orange. And Daniel Francis has got Holty done, and in the background Kelly has got Stealth Sloth done, and they look towards Don't Know Mate now. And Don't Know Mate's gaining on the Holty, Dan Francis and DJ Phil battle as well. So is he looking for a couple more places? Maze Game then. Look at the different lines there that Maze and Rabbit Joe take. I've noticed Joe takes a few different lines to other cars. Maze then sliding a little wide, and Joe getting a bit interested now, maybe, as they come down the second sector. But Maze taking a traditional late apex line, trying to stop the car in a straight line and then get the late apex and a better drive out the corner. So Rabbit Joe is now starting to push Maze, and I just the lines that Joe's taking, he's having a look. Maze will have the inside for the next corner. Great stuff here. They're giving each other the space and respect. But Joe has to go around the outside. Maze will be able to defend the inside as they come towards the end of lap 4 and will start lap 5, which will open the pit window. So guys who do have damage will be able to come in and repair their cars. Alfie and Welshie obviously getting their damage done as soon as possible. Arjun's had a spin, and he will no longer be in this fight.
Yeah, he's had a huge spin somewhere, and that'll ruin Argent's fight for this one then, because these two looking very racy. Joe making a good lunge up the inside at the middle sector of the lap, as Holty then has is that Dean? That's Dean, and who's got past Holty. So what has happened? Yeah, what has happened to Holty then? Behind Kelly, Stelzloff, Don Productions, and Dean Wasocki. As Kelly's also got past Don't Know Mate, as Stelzloff. So Don't Know Mate as well having a problem somewhere else, and he's fighting from Dean Wasocki. At the moment, as Maze and Rabbit Joe, this battle continues, and Joe looking very racy in this one. These two are on their own now. Kieran's going to be in his own little battle, as is Nicky, it seems. He's on his own little race as well. And this the main battle. Again, Joe trying to keep a tighter line, and Maze getting that late apex. And oh, Joe on the curbs. You hear the squeal of the tyres as the car did not like that curve there. And that is Gev Maze a bit of a breather then coming down towards the hairpin, as that in the foreground looks to be Alfie coming to be a lap down. But don't forget, he's pitted. These guys haven't. Dean now on the back of Stealth Sloth. He's made a mistake, because Don't Know Mate has got back ahead of Stealth Sloth then. And can Dean Wasocki put the pressure on him? Don't Know Mate looking for another top 10 finish. Not bad, say he's on the pad and has only got the game, what, 4 or 5 weeks ago. He's looking decent already in this series. Dean looked a bit wider than Stealth Sloth. Oh, I think Holty dropped it there. He did. Wow.
That's not going to help the tyres whatsoever.
That's that could be a change of tyres on that Audi, I'm sure. As here comes Dean then. Where's that Lamborghini? It's looking up the inside of Don't Know Mate, and he's going to send one. Oh, and did not get that one stopped in time. And we'll have to give Don't Know Mate that position back, you'd imagine, because and he does so. Yeah, that was never going to work. And Dean now looking interested around the outside. Oh, did Don't Know Mate? He had a bit of a wiggle there, and he has. Look, he's lost that Stealth Sloth, and he's going to lose out. No, he gets Dean. Oh, and he's now been late on the brakes, and gives Stealth Sloth a tap back. Tit for tat, boys. Come on, play fair, play nice. But trying to get late on the brake. I saw him have a wiggle, so I wonder if he's got a bit of rear damage and maybe struggling to get that car stopped. But KLF, Dan, gaining on the back of the piston broke Mercedes.
Yeah, he's starting to slowly bring the gap down as Kelly actually opts to pit. So he comes into the pits and gets his pit stop done and out the way, as Maze has made a mistake somewhere, because look how close Rabbit Joe is now. He is right onto the back of Maze again. But it just seems like Maze just seems to be pushing a little bit too hard. You know what pace Joe can do, but obviously behind the back of Maze he'll be struggling. But obviously I think as well, when you're not going as fast.
Holty's coming to the pits. He's got himself a 10-second time penalty for speeding as well. So that's really ruined his race as Kelly's away. Sorry, Dan. Here goes Dean around the outside of Stealth Sloth into turn 1. Can't get the move done. Sorry, Dan, I cut you off there.
Yeah, no worries, that's fine. But Dean obviously not able to get that move done on Stealth Sloth, so Dean will have to look for another opportunity. But some of these fast guys that were looking around and trying to get a good start at the front pack have ended themselves at the back. So Kelly, the first of the leaders to pit, so we'll keep an eye on where he comes out. He's just onto the back of Smithy. And full preps to Smithy. He's trying his best. As Joe's made a mistake, he's now dropped 6 seconds behind Maze. So Joe has made an error somewhere, and this is going to allow Maze Gamer to now just breathe and take his time. Yeah, what a shame for Joe then, because he's had real good pace and has battled with Maze throughout this one. As Peaceful in the chat, that was shocking. It was a little bit if you're referring to the Lamborghini and the Audi of Stealth Sloth and Don't Know Mate. Now Stealth Sloth gone very defensive here. He's making this corner a little awkward for himself. Dean on the brakes. Now Dean, will he look for that cutback of Stealth Sloth, who's gone very deep again? He's made the corner tricky for himself. Oh, and just turns into the side of Dean. And Stealth twice on that corner now, getting himself in a spot of bother. Yeah, he's doing all the right moves. He's defending right, but he's just not allowing the other car to get that cutback. Yeah. He's not allowing he's really being aggressive on exit. He's allowing them to take their line on entry, but it's when they come onto the exit, he just seems to just swipe across a little bit and is not allowing Dean to get through. As Nicky, the other Team Pro Laps guys, so they're opting to pit early and get their pit stops out of the way. Yeah, but let's be honest, Nicky's just on his own. He needs to get his pit stop done and out the way. And this is a real big shock for me. Nicky, didn't look good in practice, didn't look good in quality, but looking after his car, staying out of trouble, has got himself in a top 5 position.
Oh, and what a pit stop
quick
from the Team Prolapse boys. Shake and bake just as good on a Thursday night. Nicky is away then. And is this an undercut strategy to try and bring him closer to Stealth Sloth? Oh, now what's happened to Dean? As Dean's now behind Don't Know Mate, and Stealth Sloth has gone up front. So Dean may be making a mistake somewhere. But back to Nicky. I think Nicky's trying to undercut, maybe get closer to Argent. With Argent already making a mistake in this race, can Nicky make this strategy work? He's come out just ahead of Dean, but behind Don't Know Mate as Smithy comes into the pits as well at the end of lap 6. So Smithy in, a few of the boys in, as Daniel Francis leaves P10. So he has had a nightmare pit stop compared to Nicky.
Yeah, so Mays obviously now with that opportunity of Rabbit Joe making that mistake is now starting to extend his gap. There's a car between him and Rabbit Joe. He's doing a 58.8 was the last lap, and obviously Rabbit Joe's mistake, we're not sure where he's dropped it, but he's done a 2-minute 05. That's allowing Mays to just extend his legs a little bit and have a little bit of breathing space. Nicky has now just come out of behind Don't Know Mate, so he'll obviously try and want to clear him as quickly as he possibly can. But I'm pretty sure Don't Know Mate will not hold Nicky up too much unless he decides to pit.
Yeah, I think the thing for Don't Know Mate and Stealth Sloth, if Nicky, because Nicky's only 5 seconds behind Stealth Sloth, is you don't need to fight them. They've already made their pit stops. Just let them pass, really, isn't it? It seems to be the way to go. Holty's got past Smithy after the round of pit stops. Smithy's still in the pits, and Don't Know Mate just managing to stay far enough ahead of Nicky at the minute that Nicky's not being a bother as of yet. Stealth Sloth, when's he going to pit? We're coming around towards the pit entry now, so the top 4 definitely haven't, because we're at pit entry now, and Stealth Sloth, I don't think he's going to come in. As we go back to Maze, no, Stealth Sloth definitely hasn't. No, we're not at pit entry yet. We're at pit entry after this part of the track. So bare, some of these corners look the same. Oh, Smithy's got a penalty on his way out the pits. So Smithy with a 10-second penalty as well. And Nicky now getting a bit closer to Don't Know Mate. Will Don't Know Mate think of jumping it into the pit lane? Yes, he does. Probably wise from Don't Know Mate to get the pit stop out of the way. Don't fight with Nicky. Get your pit stop done and look to get the jump on Stealth Sloth in that pit. So Don't Know Mate in. Dean Wasocki follows in as well. Oh, and Dean there into the pit entrance.
That's giving Don't Know Mate a penalty. That little tap. Yeah, that's giving Don't Know Mate a penalty.
No.
I think what's happened there, Don't Know Mate, I think is reacting to an earlier pit board, thinking that was the marker, and then obviously Dean has come in and just give him a little bump.
Oh, what a stop from Dean, and Dean's in and out, got the jump on Don't Know Mate and gave him a 10-second penalty to go hand in hand with us. Don't Know Mate is now away, probably a bit of damage repaired on that car, but he'll be unhappy with that one, I'm sure then. So 3-time penalties in the pits, and Nicky chasing down Stealth Sloth. What a shame for Don't Know Mate, because he was having a strong showing at the minute.
Yeah, definitely so, and I think, yeah, that might maybe be under review possibly, because that was a little bit cheeky, an easy way to give another driver a penalty, and I think obviously with it being on the pad as well, it's not easy to assign a pit limiter. Yeah. So it's more difficult. He has to rely on making sure he stops at the board, and then when he obviously gets there, the pit limiter will automatically run, but he has to get to that speed first. It's very easy for other drivers to hit the button and be like, right, that's my pit limiter as Argent comes in.
We've had a retirement from this race, and that retirement is Alfie, and he's not got to 3/4 distance, so Alfie then will not score a point after a strong showing. Alfie will not pick up a point in this race. What a strong showing he had week 1. Well, he's not going to score a point in this second race as Argent comes into the pits at the end of lap 8, so Argent is in for his stop. And I noticed I think Argent made another mistake towards the back end of this lap, Dan, because he was quite close to the back of Unorthodox, and he then on the back of Rabbit Joe, sorry, but then was all of a sudden 5 or 6 seconds behind Rabbit Joe. So I think Argent made a mistake somewhere. Stealth Sloth coming into the pits at the end of lap 8 as well. Now, Don't Know Mate and Dean, can they get the jump on Stealth Sloth? Kelly will get back in front of Stealth Sloth. Daniel Francis should as well. She got the jump on Dean and Don't Know Mate.
So Argent is definitely out and ahead of Nicky. So that opportunity that Nicky was hoping for hasn't really arisen. But I believe that Renault will be looking stronger towards the later end of the session, where it's a little bit better on its tyres, where these guys might end up struggling with obviously the tyre wear due to obviously the Mercedes being quite heavy on its tyres.
Now, the question is are they changing the tyres? We don't know that. We don't get that information. So it'll be interesting to hear in the interviews if they do. Stovsloff then is about to leave the pits as well. She comes down and gets the place. Dean Wysocki as well, I do believe, is coming down the start straight to get a place over Stovsloff as well. Yep, Stovsloff's still in the pits. Dean Wysocki gets past now. Don't know, mate, then, as Holty then has got past Don't know, mate. Will lose out then to Stovsloff. Was behind anyway. But Holty now ahead of his teammate, and these two running in 11th and 12th. What can they do with other drivers still to pit? But them drivers that are still to pit is Phil, Joe, and Maze Gamer. So they're going to, in fact, as I say that, Maze is in at the end of lap 9. So Maze in. Does Joe react? Or is Joe going to stay out? Joe, yeah, he has stayed out. So this is crucial now for Rabbit Joe. Got to pump a good couple of laps in here. Maze looking for an undercut to extend that lead. Joe will want Kieran to get around, or DJ Phil at least, to get around and ahead of Maze before Maze comes out of the pits. Now the white dot on the map in the pits is Maze. The white dot towards the end of the lap is DJ Phil. Maze is already away. Heck of a stop then from him, and Kieran and DJ Phil are going to be in no man's land as Kieran was he? Yeah, he was already ahead of Phil.
Yeah, he was already ahead of Phil. Phil, I believe, still yet to pit. So Phil obviously is kind of out of sync, and there he goes into the pit. But what's the nice thing about these Pro-Am guys? The pit window opens and it never closes. So they're able to come in and out when they want, whenever they want, as long as they're in the pit window. Obviously, very different for the Pro guys. There will be a pit window open and closed for them, which I believe probably the stewards may have adjusted the length of the pit window, if I'm correct.
Not this week. Looking at next week, I think, of doing it. As Nicky then has got past DJ Phil. DJ Phil in the pits. Daniel Francis. In fact, Will Kelly, because Kelly jumped Daniel Francis after the pits and will get DJ Phil. So the Piston Broke boys have lost out to both Team Prolapse boys then. And Daniel Francis, will he get his teammate? He's coming down the back straight now as DJ Phil's coming out the pits. Don't know, mate's got back ahead of Holty then, as he is 11 seconds behind Stovsloff. And Dean Wysocki trying to get on the back of Welshie then. That gap is 6 seconds as well. What can Dean do? But this man... Sorry, Dan, go on.
I'm just sitting here thinking, what if in this situation, if I was Rabbit Joe, what I'd be doing. Now, obviously, you've got the pressure now of obviously you got to now start producing the hot laps. You've got to get in and out and start doing some great lap times. Do you stay out longer and try and extend it for as long as you can, or do you come in?
He's come in. I was just about to say, Dan, look at his last lap of 58.4. That is quick, but he's chose not to go an extra one. He's chose to come in now. So I think Joe's...
What could Maze benefit from here is he's coming to the pits and his tyres have cooled down from being in the pits. So his tyres are going to be a little bit fresher on exit, or Joe's will still be a little bit hot as he comes in. Will this be a quick pit stop? He hits the brake parts, he gets repairs done that he needs to get done,
rapid.
Or added fuel. It's not the fastest, but Maze is coming through the final corner. It's still going to be close, I think.
Yeah, I think this gap's a bit closer than the 5 seconds it was before Maze Gamer pitted, as Joe will hit the pit exit limiter button at them green cones. Maze then will fly past. You know what, actually, it might still be 5 seconds as Joe hits his pit limiter any time now. You see the green cones, that's where he can take the limiter off, and away he goes. So I reckon that gap is maybe a bit closer than 5, but if not, he's not really gained anything. Argent, though, has. Look, Argent's there in the background. He's only 8 seconds off the back of Maze. So Argent's gained quite a bit. He's gained 2 seconds from pitting earlier than Maze Gamer. Then the gap between Maze and Rabbit Joe is still 6 seconds. And Dean has got Stovsloff catching him here. So has Dean made a mistake somewhere, or is Stov just pushing nice and hard? Because he's got Stovsloff on the back of him. They're also trying to catch Welshie, who is only 6-7 seconds up the road from Dean. So it'll be interesting. Oh, Stovsloff, that's not the line you want to be taking, as he's well wide and off the track and has to brake on a corner that's flat out. Now, that Lamborghini didn't sound quick to me there. Does he have a problem?
It does sound like it's struggling, and he's struggling with turning. So the thing about the Lamborghini is very it depends on the understeer quite a lot. It's not very much an oversteer car. Its lack of grip is in the front end.
I want to say something. Do you think he's struggling with engine wear? Because it just doesn't sound like it's got the oomph coming out the corners.
It could possibly do. Well, the engine's sat at that 213 Fahrenheit, so the engine is hot. It's really struggling. And if we look at a car like the Mercedes, or as I say that, look at Maze, 231 Fahrenheit. That is really smoking, so he's got to be careful of that. But the likes of Joe, who's got the radiator wide open, possibly, is 197, so that's in its nice, cool zone. That's where it wants to be.
The thing is for Joe as well is he had that pit stop to just cool it down that little bit. Do you know what I mean? You're looking at everybody who's not just pitted. They're all around the 220s.
Joe has really looked after his engine. He's the only one who's in the low 200s.
Is that because it's pitted though, Dan, and he's been in the pits to really cool it down while he's not pushing?
Possibly. I think Arjun's looking after his engine. Nicky's looking after his engine by the looks of things.
Oh, Daniel Francis a bit wide there. Is DJ Phil and Welshie are looking to gain on him. Welshie's isn't too bad at 209, is it? That's not too bad for Welshie. I don't know, mate. It's 206. Oh, Smithy a bit wide as well. Yeah, interesting then. We'll have to keep an eye on that because something didn't sound right with Stovesoft's Lamborghini there. Then as Dean is now 8 seconds behind Welshie. Welshie 2 seconds behind DJ Phil. So that's a little battle brewing between Welshie and Phil then. Welshie looking to hunt him down. Now, Rabbit Joe hunting down Mays. Kieran with a 58.3 hunting down the pair of them here. Lap 12 of 15. I don't think the race wins on for Kieran, but I definitely think that he's going to challenge his teammate towards the end of this one. We'll have to wait and see. Don't forget 14 drivers started this race, so the top 7 cannot qualify. So at the minute, Mays, Rabbit Joe, Argent, Nicky, KLF, Daniel Francis and DJ Phil cannot qualify. So that'll be an interesting qualifying too for sure. But DJ Phil here, as well as trying to attack his teammate, has got Welshie hassling the back of him. Look at these three for the leads, a bit further out than these three. These three are a bit closer together.
Welshie, I have to top Welshie off. He's been looking so much better in that Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Last season, obviously racing in the Pro, a much harder category, and in a car that he did not like. He absolutely detested that Porsche 911. But Rabbit Joe wanted to run it, and that's what they ended up running. But in this Lamborghini, he's a completely different driver. He's much happier, he's much more content, and he's lapping faster than the 2 piston broke cars, which are technically meant to be the fastest car here. There's a top 3 for these cars, and currently at the minute, Welshie is catching them in the Lambo.
Yeah, DJ Phil's just... Oh, he's dropped it! He's dropped it, spins it round. Hey, mate, I did it to D Biggs last Thursday, don't forget. Daniel Francis, and is he struggling a little bit? Because DJ Phil seemed to catch him and get past him relatively quickly there. So I don't know if Daniel Francis is struggling here. Dean, then, will be all having a field day seeing the back of that yellow Lamborghini.
I think that might have been tactics, really. I think DJ Phil might have had more pace, and then Daniel Francis must have realised.
Whoa! Wow, Daniel Francis, has he got a problem? Has he got his brakes too shut? Because I said he looked slow and was a bit too cautious through that first sector. I think he might have a brake problem here, Daniel.
Yeah, and we also nearly had a Autumn Park Honda touring car moment there where Flash and Matt Neal took each other out.
Yeah, so, exactly.
We really had a moment. I just had to throw that in.
I think that one would have been a bit worse though, because Daniel come with some speed. I think Daniel's got a brake problem here. We'll see how quick Welshie can get on the back of him.
Mays has had an issue. He's on a 2 flat, and the guys behind him have gone quicker.
Yeah, 58.1.
So Mays, this is now the game. This is a head game now. Who can stay the smoothest and the most consistent? We're in the last few laps now. Mays has just got a couple of laps to go. Rabbit Joe needs to keep his head cool, and Argent just needs to be prepared for when anything happens between the leading 2. This is going to go down to the wire. Props to Nicky, though, for getting through the pack on his own. No problems with him, with no issues or contact or anything like that. He's minded his own business, and he's got himself in that top 5 position. And Nicky Kelly with a recovery as well in the other Prolapse car. And then DJ Phil, another wise head from him, keeping it clean, keeping it consistent, and is outperforming his teammate, who we think is struggling with brake issue.
Yeah, I think massively, because DJ Phil has gapped. Oh, Joe, he's right on the back of Mays Gamer, and this is for the lead. Mays has dropped it somewhere, and that is it. Joe's taking the lead on lap 13, so we just talk about a cool, calm head, and Mays may be burning through his tyres a little bit more than Joe did early on, has lost it somewhere. Sooty in the chat, evening Sooty, nothing worse than Matt Neal, evening everyone. Shut up, Sooty. As Joe then takes the lead in this race, Dan, I think Mays may have just used up too many tyres. He's going to look back at the final corner. Joe gives him the room, and he's going to try and hang it around the outside. And this is great racing at the end of the race, like with the Clios the other night. We're being given entertainment side by side. Kieran in the background maybe praying that these two have a bit of touch here, and he can come across for the race win. Joe tucks back in, now looks to the inside. Mays stays sort of middle of the road. He pulls back to the racing line in the braking zone, and Joe now looks up the inside, and has he got that one done? Because it's a left-hand kink coming up and gives Mays that one back then. This is a great battle between these three early doors here, Dan, and between these two, sorry, in the last part of this race. What a job. Mays, though, what has happened to him? Has his tyres gone?
Yeah, Debbie, so it just looks like he's been just pushing out a little bit too hard, and now Rabbit Joe is right up to the back of him. Joe looking to the inside here. He should get the inside of this corner, but he's going to struggle with traction, and Mays with better traction out the corner will pull away. So Joe and Mays are battling out for the race win here, and we're on the penultimate lap. Tyres are going to be on fire right now.
Joe back underneath and just drifts out wide from the corner and just taps the rear of Mays. Now, will that one be looked at by the stewards? You'd imagine so. They'll look at pretty much everything, but
Joe's giving it back.
So that saves himself getting a penalty there. Kieran 2.7 behind while these two are squabbling, so he's coming. I definitely think Daniel Francis has got a problem because he's now 7 seconds behind Phil, and Welsh, he's got past him then. Can Dean get on the back of Daniel Francis for an extra position? Holty's passed Sloth. Not sure what happened there, but don't forget Holty's got a time penalty. But this for the race lead. Joe then hassling the back of Mays Gamer at the minute, respectively. Gave him that place back to save himself getting a penalty, Dan. 1 and a bit laps to go. Race on.
Yeah, definitely so. As we have a quick look, Daniel Francis has lost out to Welsh, and I think he's struggling with brakes. Holty obviously making that position as well, but this is the main
a
fight.
dive bomb! Oh, he taps him round! He's tapped him round! What a dive bomb from Joe! Now here comes his teammate. Joe lets Mays get away again, and Joe will let Mays keep that one. That one maybe looked at a bit more.
I don't know, this is starting to get a little bit hot now. Mays Gamer will be suffering with hot rear tyres now. He will be struggling on exits and stuff like that. But obviously Rabbit Joe making contact. He might have front end damage. And I said keep an eye out for Arjun. Arjun would be there if anything happened. And they've made contact. Mays has just got one more lap to survive. Rabbit Joe needs to clear his head and get back onto the back of Mays. He's made one mistake. He can make another. So he needs to just get onto the back of him and just try and do it as cleanly as...
Arjun! He's dropped it just when he had a chance of a race win. It's gone away from him by dropping it at turn 1. Sutty just had time. Some Archie and Rabbit Joe. I think the tyres have given up on the Mercedes-Benz because they are losing it easily now. I tell you what, a couple more spins like that for Arjun and Nicky could be on for a podium here. But wow, these Mercedes, if their tyres have gone off, that is crazy quick.
Yeah, that's definitely quick for them, and I think just it's the racing. They forget about it. When they get into battle, your mind just goes completely blank, and you focus on just trying to pass the car. Now, obviously, that has now affected Argent and Rabbit Joe, and they've overheated their tyres, and the car just can't grip. It can't handle it, and they've lost out. Mays has come out on top, but he's looking squirrely as well. He just needs to hang on. He's got half a lap to go, basically. Mays Gamer could get his first win here at Simplay Motorsport.
He could do indeed. This could be brilliant for Mays Gamer. He's just got a few corners to hang on as he comes towards the middle sector. I think Joe has dropped it again. Oh no, we did see Joe drop it. Holty now looking racy at the end of this race. His tyres may not be gone because he's now coming past Dean. Dean needs to get 10 seconds out of Stove Sloth. He's 4 and now he's past Dean, so game on.
Yeah, definitely so. And Daniel Francis is still close to Welshie as well, so he could possibly gain as well. But this man has managed to hold on to the pressure and will take his first win here at Simplay Motorsport.
Yeah, great job from Mays Gamer. Great race. Pressure early on, pressure at the end, but it is going to be a race win to go with his pole position around the final corner. No problems there. Job done for Mays Gamer. First win of the season to back up his 3rd place last week. Rabbit Joe, though, what could have been for him maybe in this race, pushed a bit too hard as he on them tyres at the end to catch Mays. P2 nonetheless, a good result. His teammate as well, a good P3. But my God, them Mercedes look like they're going through their tyres towards the end of this race here. Shout out, biggest shout out to think of the night needed for Nicky and KLF. 4th and 5th. I did not expect the Renaults to do a lot tonight. And 4th and 5th, that is a great job for them. Daniel Francis then, I think, has played as a crafty one here as Nicky crosses the line and Kelly will cross the line for P5. DJ Phil, P6 as well. Oh, Kelly's not yet crossed the line. Sorry, Nicky's crossed the line. Kelly coming across now. I think Daniel Francis has played a crafty one somewhere, Dan.
Why is that?
Well, top 7 can't qualify. And all of a sudden he's glued to the back of Welshie's car as DJ Phil looks like he's going to come round for a P6. Then his not best result, so he got a P5 at Brands Hatch in race 1 last week. So 2nd best result of the season for DJ Phil. Welshie then looks like he's going to take his best result of a 7th place. And Daniel Francis, look, just
track limits.
Yeah, that's track limits, and he's just happy to sit behind Welshie there. and I reckon so he can qualify for race 2. Smithy will finish 13th and a lap down in this one. At least he kept going to the end. Don't Know Mate then is 12th as well. Holty then is 9 seconds ahead of Stove Sloth, but he's got in front of Dean because Dean's had a problem somewhere now. Can he gain a couple of attempts to be even further in front of Stove Sloth? I think Holty's just got himself 10 seconds ahead of Stove Sloth. He has. So Holty looks like he's going to hang on for a P9. Good stuff from Holty there. Stove Sloth then, provided he can keep it together through the final corner. Oh, that's track limits. But I think as from Dean in the background. Stove Sloth then will come across for a P10. Oh, Don't Know Mate just dropped it at the end. Dean then will cross the line for a P11. Good start from Dean after a good qualifying. Holty does keep on for his 9th place, so that is not bad for him. Dean P11, Smithy P13 as we know, and Alfie retired with no points. We now wait for the fastest lap, and pressure equals mistakes, but I'm happy with P2, said Joe. And fastest lap 57.8. Maze Gamer takes it to a clean sweep pole, fastest lap and the race win in the first race. We'll be right back though in just a moment. As you see there, the final Alfie retired lap 6, so he could have got to the end surely on that and recovered after people's pit stops and time penalties. Holtio did well to get ahead of Dean and Stove Sloth at the very end and get 10 seconds in front with his time. But we'll be back in just a moment with race 2. Guys, do not go anywhere. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Go for a quick toilet break and grab yourself a refreshment, because we're going to be back with some even more action and drama around this Dubai Autodrome GP circuit, so don't go anywhere.
Getting hype when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. When I watch me elevate. I was born and when I watch me elevate. I was born and when I watch me elevate. Watch me elevate. Yeah. All in when I show up. Whole place about to blow up. Superior to that competition. I'm in first place, yeah, that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watch me elevate. I was born and when I watch me elevate.
Broken dreams in my pocket, golden thing round my neck like a locket. Carve your name in my
red light. Oh, a red light. Oh, a red light. Oh, a red
Welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen, to Simplay Motorsport here for the second round of the night and round 4 of the season. Just before we get this one underway, Rabbit Joe has taken double points tonight and has taken the lead as Holty has just picked himself up a one-place penalty coming out the pit. So Argent leads from Argent. Sorry, Joe leads from Argent. Nicky Maze Gamer up to 4th place. Daniel Francis 5th with Holty up to 6th. Don down to 7th. Kelly 8th. DJ Phil 9th. Alfie down to 10th. Stealth Sloth 11th. Walshy P12, don't know mate in 13th, Dean Wasocki 14th, and Smith NJ 15th and Smithy 16th. Forever Forward lead the way from Team Prolapse. Piston Broke Store 3rd with Iron Brew Racing in 4th, ahead of MC Motorsport, Team Pro Lassie, and then AA 3D Printing, Lone Wolf Motorsport and Team Cool Runnings. And we're going to start with Kieran Argent first of all, who got a good P3, but the race win was on the cards maybe at the end.
Yeah, to be honest with you, the other two got away from it at the front and we've had a lonely race and kind of settled for third. But yeah, you're right, could have been a chance, but that last mistake in the last lap killed it for me.
You had pace early doors, you just couldn't stick with the front two. Was it just to try and see how much they could do before you made your earlier mistake?
No, it was actually a wheel glitch that caught me out at the last turn. I clicked down, shift down one gear, and it went down 2 and just hit me looking around. Which was pain, but as I say, it happened.
Yeah, now you've got you had the pace of an undercut and the advantage after that undercut to gain back on Joe and Mace. Did that strategy work for you?
I think I got lucky with a pit stop, to be honest with you. It had 0.07 pit stop, so Red Northie Joe and others probably stayed there for at least 5 seconds.
What can you do race 2, mate, starting from by the back?
Depends how quickly and cleanly I can get through the pack. I noticed there's only 3 of us in the 56, 57th and 8th. So yeah, it depends on the traffic in front, how well we get through.
Well, best of luck, mate. We've got Joey with us as well, and Joe, great pace in qualifying and in practice. You pushed Mays all the way early doors till you made a mistake, but you gave him a fight at the end as well.
Yeah, I've been doing better pace in practice, and I didn't do as well in qualifying as I wanted, but I did pretty well and well enough to keep it second. Sorry about that.
Well, we'll jump to you then, Mace, while we wait to see if Joe gets back. Mace. Oh, Joe is back. Yeah, you got a cracking start and pushed Mace all the way early. Race end, few nudges with Mace at the end, but was it let him back through to not get a penalty?
I made mistakes and I let him pass because I don't want to take a place that I didn't rightfully take, and if I get a penalty for them, I'll take it and learn from my mistakes.
Yeah. Well, what can you do race 2, mate?
Hopefully push through the pack as fast as possible and try and get on the podium, maybe even first.
Well, best of luck, buddy. We'll let you get to it.
Thank you.
And Mays, first win here at Simplay. Not a bad way to take it. It was hard though.
Yeah, very hard with a very difficult track with 60 degrees and super overheating tires.
How was the tyres in that race? Because they're the biggest question, I reckon.
For me, the rear tires were up to 140 degrees.
Wow. Going into this second one, are you hoping for a bit more of a battle with Joe, or because that seemed brilliant towards them few laps at the end?
Yeah, if there's a battle, and I will be the winner in last, so I will appreciate the battle.
Well, best of luck, mate. We'll let you get back to it.
Thanks.
Cheers, buddy. Sedan 3 drivers very happy with their performances. And what can they do going forward? Who knows, but it's qualifying 2 time. And Holty with that grid penalty, that's ruled his pole position out. As just looking at the race stats chart here, DJ Phil has just made his 80th race start here at Simplay. And that's not a bad way to do it, as the 2 Iron Blue racing cars are currently P1 and 2 on track. What a shame that Holty will be the man that misses out on pole at the minute.
Yeah, maybe. But sadly, Holty, with that speeding in the pit lane, is obviously going to be denied of that pole position if he holds it. But Dean Musocki there dropping into second place. And as you say, yeah, a couple of drivers who are very happy after that race, and we knew the Mercedes tyres would be struggling towards the end. I've just noticed as well, there's only 6 drivers out on track. So Welshie, I believe, is the other man.
Welshie can't qualify. Daniel Francis can. As can Alfie, but Alfie's not out there qualifying.
So Alfie's the man who's currently not out on track. Yeah,
the people who can't qualify is Maze Gamer, DJ Phil, KLF, Nicky, Welshie, Rabbit Joe and Argent, leaving Stealth Sloth, Daniel Francis, Dean Wasocki, Alfie, Smithy, Don't Know Mate and Holty, all allowed to qualify. Alfie's not out there. Neither is so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, so it is just Alfie then, the man that is able to qualify, isn't out there qualifying yet. So he's not qualifying, and that's going to put him P12 and really out of position for this second one. No, that wasn't Bethany, mate. That wasn't my end. That was Rabbit Joe's end. I think it was his sister, he said. Sorry, Dan.
I'm just saying here, Smithy here, just on a better lap. He's 5.5 seconds up on his best, so that should put him up a little bit higher. Maybe it's into that 4th place position past Smithy, but not the best of laps from him, so he comes towards the line.
Goes second,
actually.
Yeah, good lap from Stealthsoft then. Dean,
Don't
know mate on pole. Yeah, so a good one for him. Holty crosses the line. He goes back to the top of the leaderboard. Dean Wasocki then is on a quick one as well. As Alfie's disconnected, he's had a power cut. He's just got a message through saying power cut, so we may not have Alfie back for the rest of the night. What a shame then for Alfie. But Dean on a quick one at the minute. Daniel Francis not really doing anything. He's green and green, but it's not a quick lap. Oh, and as Dean just ruined his lap time at the end, manages to recover the half slide he had. Where will that put him? No, down on his time, but he gets one more run at it. And is it the 2 Audis that look like they're going to take pole? Stealthsoft moves out the way, so he's not improving this lap. Don't Know Mate then the one to watch first of all. So Alfie power cut then, kind of removes him from this race. What a shame after a good Brands. It's a disappointing Dubai for himself, and he's down half a second. His Don't Know Mate coming through sector 1, but can make that time up as the rest of this lap goes. This is an interesting qualifying session, because at the minute, Don't Know Mate's provisional pole with Holty having that grid penalty.
Yeah, definitely so. And Don't Know Mate, like you said, fairly new to the championship, fairly new to racing this game as well. So he's doing an excellent job, and probably one of the hardest circuits to race at as well, due to the fact that the temperatures are so high, and also the circuit is so demanding on tyres. And to put it on pole position so far, not by raw pace, but obviously due to the fact that Holty, his teammate, will be getting a grid penalty, and at the minute on pole position is looking very good for him. Stelzloff just using his toe at the minute to try and get ahead. But if anyone could probably deny him a pole at the minute, is this man, Daniel Francis, in the Mercedes. Obviously, with the power of the grunt of the Mercedes, should be able to get ahead of these guys.
Oh,
but
wiggle.
with slides like that ain't going to help.
No, it ain't. What can Don't Know Mate do? It's pretty much a fight for second so far, and he will get one more run at this as well. Stelzloff backed out this lap earlier, if you remember. He was the one who was in front of Don't Know Mate and backed out behind him. So what can he do then? Now he's got traffic in front. Don't Know Mate then down the start straight. Will he improve on this lap? He was 6/10 down through sector 1. Doesn't improve through that final sector. So he's got work to do. Can Holty improve this lap and extend the gap? No, he can't. Dean has gone back to the pits and gave up on that top 3 then. So it is the top 3 and Daniel Francis out there on track at the minute.
Yeah, what can Daniel do? It's not been the best of laps, but hopefully it will be better than a 2:05. It's not been the best of laps from him. Hopefully he can try and get himself a little bit further up towards there as he goes P3. Yeah. So even with a poor lap like that, puts him 3rd. So hopefully this final lap from him will hopefully put him a little bit higher. But at the minute, it's still the Iron Brew pair, as Don't Know Mate into the pits, are currently leading the way at the minute.
Yeah, they're currently leading the way. Don't Know Mate goes to the pits. That's knocked Dean and Smithy, who are in the pit lane as well, down to 5th and 6th. The top 5 covered by 0.8 of a second. Daniel Francis only needs a 10th to get pole position, really, because the 3/10 he doesn't need it outright. He only needs it to get. He only needs to get second for pole on the grid. So Don't Know Mate's backed out. That gives Stelzloff a clean track with Holty just behind him, and Daniel Francis the last one to finish a lap. Stelzloff so deep into the hairpin, that's his chance gone.
Definitely. So his chance has gone. Now, Holty, can he make sure that he extends the gap long enough so... Oh, well, that's it. Qualifying's done. Holty is pole position, which will actually allow Don't Know Mate on pole.
Yes, so Don't Know Mate will get pole as Daniel Francis went to the pit. Qualifying done, and Daniel Francis pitted then, so Holty doesn't even have to finish this lap time. Stelzloff's gone to the pits, he'll finish 4th. So Don't Know Mate then will be promoted to P1, and his first pole position here at Simplay Motorsport, due to the fact that Holty got a grid penalty. So Don't Know Mate will take the extra point and will get himself a pole position in his 4th GT3 outing. Not a bad way to start. Can he get it off the line? It's an Iron Brew Racing 1-2 though in qualifying 2, Dan, and this is going to be an interesting one. Well, providing Holty has got a 1-place grid penalty. Mazda always happy to help a teammate out. Sent Holty a setup just before they came on in the second race.
I'm just going to say that I really do hope that this doesn't happen in the pro. I really hope it's not an Iron Brew 1-2.
It is an Iron Brew 1-2 then, so it's Holty second, Don't Know Mate in second place, but that'll be switched around by the time we get to it. Daniel Francis will be in P3 with Stelzloff 4th. Dean Wasocki then will get himself P5 on the grid at the minute, followed by Smithy then. Then it's the non-qualifiers. Welshie from Nicky, Kelly in 9th, then Argent and Mays Game at 11th. Rabbit Joe 12th and DJ Phil Green 13th. Dan, who's your tip for this race win?
Oh God! Oh God! Oh God! I really don't know. If I'm gonna have to pick, I'm gonna say Holty.
Well, let's see what Holty can do by the end of this one. Then, do you know what? I'm gonna throw a curveball. I'm gonna go Dean.
Dean and Holty here. So you guys, your race are gonna be ruined. Your grid order here for race 2 at Dubai Autodrome will be Don't Know Mate on pole position. His first pole position here at Simplay Motorsport, and his teammate, an all Iron Brew 1-2 on the front row in second place. Daniel Francis for Piston Broken 3rd. 4th place will go the way of MC Motorsport Stelzloff. 5th place is Dean Wasocki for AA 3D Printing. 6th place will be Smithy for Team Cool Runnings, and then Welshie in the other MC Motorsport in that 7th place position. Nicky for Team Prolapse in 8th. KLF will join him as well in that 9th place position for Team Prolapse. Forever Forward. Argent currently in the 10th place position. Maze, our race winner from race 1, in 11th place for Team Pro Lassie. 12th place will go the way of Rabbit Joe for Forever Forwards Racing, and DJ Phil at the back for Piston Broke in 13th place. That is your grid order for race 2 here at the Dubai Autodrome of Simplay Motorsport Pro-Am Championship here.
Smithy says KLF for the win. I spun, didn't I? It says Daniel Francis. Getting quicker, says Monkey Boy. Peaceful Stepdad says good luck, everyone. Iron Brew Racing, front row. Mazda, woo, Iron Brew Racing. A few sticking the tongue out emojis, a few laughing emojis, and 3 thumbs up. The Iron Brew Racing boys in the chat, I'm sure, will be pleased that their team, their junior team, their B team, if you will, have taken pole position. That is a great start to their advantage. 22 people watching, 18 likes on the stream. Guys, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you are new, as the lights are coming on now then, and we're about to get ourselves underway, and we're green here at Dubai. It's a good start from Dean in the midfield. Daniel Francis covers him off early. Holty though gets the jump on his teammate Don't Know Mate already at the start. He got away well, did Don't Know Mate, but Holty just got a better one. Dean then tried to get a jump. Daniel Francis didn't make sure that one happened. Then he's lost out. Welsh's gaining round the outside as Don't Know Mate tucks on the inside and stealths off into turn 1 very late on the brakes, but I think manages to get it stopped. And Dean is losing place after place here. No spinners though at the first corner, all through cleanly. Dean, I said, could have won this race, has been mugged out and is dropped way down the standings already.
Yeah, he's been absolutely mugged by the rest of the pack. He's actually in the wall. But Holty leads the way from Iron Brew 1-2, and it's Welshie down the inside of Daniel Francis, so he's losing places left, right and centre, and Stealth Floor. Welshie's had a flyer. Yeah. Look at that. He is up into 3rd place. What an absolute flyer of a start from Welshie. The Prolapse boys are slowly making their way through, and Argent, the Maze and Argent of the winners of the previous round, the podium finishers, are the furthest up, and Rabbit Joe just struggling at the back a little bit there, as Argent is now looking to make a move on Nicky right now. The Mercedes, look at
the pace.
The Renault.
Look at the difference that is. Here comes Daniel Francis, then up the inside of Welshie. Oh, and Stealth Sloth again. That's Daniel Francis rolling over and over he goes, and Stealth Sloth yet again has dive bombed a few cars. And well, that was a silly manoeuvre. Dean then stopping for Daniel Francis.
As you see there, Kelly goes down the inside of Welshie there, trying to gain position. Oh no, sorry, of Argent. So he's trying to make sure he keeps the Mercedes boys as far back as they possibly can. Rabbit Joe is now making his way through the pack, but Maze Gamer currently in 2nd place at the minute, and is trying to hunt down Holty, but Holty's starting to pull away. Nicky once again is up there. He's cleared some of the traffic and got himself into that 3rd place position. Welshie and KLF currently right now trying to stop the Mercedes onslaught behind him of Argent, DJ Phil and Rabbit Joe.
What happened to Don't Know Mate then? Like you said, he's dropped down the order down into P10 as Dean gets past Daniel Francis, who's struggling with bad damage but can pit. Adam Kalp, turn 1 made clean, he says. Yeah, but the hairpin didn't. There is DJ Phil now trying to get back ahead of Argent down this start straight. Welshie and KLF are battling, and Argent's getting involved in this one, look, and this could be 3 or 4 abreast then. Kelly from Welshie, from Argent, from Phil. Who's going to look up the inside? Argent can't go too deep as Phil's here, and Argent's lost the rear. I didn't see any taps. Dean and Daniel into the pits, but wow, Argent again. He's managed to not lose too much actually.
No, he's just on the back. I think the rear just went and he caught it, so that's allowed this whole pack to get past him. Don't Know Mate is still onto the back of this pack, but it's a train behind Kelly at the minute. DJ Phil running a little bit wide. Welshie is about to get mugged by Rabbit Joe down the inside, but like I said, Welshie will get that better drag. He gets a better run out the corner, and he's going to have to push Joe wide and make him go the long way round to see Forever Forward versus the MC Motorsport pair, and they're trying to go around as Joe just goes right around the outside, and Argent.
Yeah, so does Argent. Don't Know Mate lost it in the background as well, so what a shame for him, trying to stick with them there. Well, that one, strange one. Daniel Francis gets apology not accepted. Daniel, that wasn't Welshie that hit you in the chat, mate. That was Stealth Sloth who side one up the inside at the hairpin, and he's done one again, this time on his teammate. And every time Stealth Sloth gets to this hairpin, it just looks like he's going to hit somebody. It just looks like he's running too deep into that hairpin, the wrong line being taken.
Yeah, Dean currently in the pits, obviously repairing the major damage that he has suffered. But Welshie still trying to stay ahead of Stealth Sloth as these two are too busy battling one another. But Holty still leads this race, but Maze Gamer is starting to hunt him down. Nicky currently in 3rd place at the minute, and Kelly not too far behind. Like I said, those Renaults are very consistent and very planted and will be minding their own business. Joe and Argent will be hunting those cars down though for sure, as Kelly is actually starting to catch onto the back of Nicky.
Yeah, Kelly starting to catch Nicky. Maze then starting to catch Holty, who's had 2 laps now. He starts lap 3, still in the lead of this race, and Maze Gamer managed to get a good first lap and start to the drama. Then as Dean's just come out the pits ahead of this battle, so Dean's got a lot of work to do now to gain on people. Pit window opens at the end of lap 5, don't forget. Lap 3 currently we are on. The 2 people who've pitted was for major damage, and you can tell their race has been affected by that, as here goes Argent up the inside of DJ Phil. Can't get the move done, as Dean is 2:33 in the pit last lap. Dan Francis 2:37, and they are well off the back of this pace at the minute. And Stealth Sloth, don't know, mate, is back ahead of Smithy. Then Stealth Sloth. Oh, Argent looking around the outside of Phil as he's got past his teammate somewhere, but couldn't get that one done. So the Forever Forward boys here looking to really charge then. Stealth Sloth back ahead of Welshie further behind as well. But this is a great battle between these 3 Mercedes drivers. They're letting Kelly and Nicky just get away from them slightly here. And, well, Argent and Rabbit Joe would have wanted to go with Maze Gamer, Dan, but they've not been able to.
No, Maze Gamer has really got away from this pack now and is really starting to bring Holty down as we come up to the hairpin. So yeah, he's bringing that gap down ever so slowly with DJ Phil. Oh, Argent's off. Argent's had a big moment.
Wow, huge damage to the back of that and the front of that car, and he's spun on the back straight. Now we're not sure what's happened to Argent there, but that is a huge incident and will be a major pit stop. Look at the time he's losing through having to let the traffic through. He can get away now, but you imagine that car will be in the pits at the end of this lap, and that, Dan, I'm not sure what happened there, but huge off, huge damage. And Phil and Joe are still going, so you can only imagine that he's made an error on his own.
I think he was down the main straight, so he might have possibly have made contact with DJ Phil. I'm not sure, but Maze is right onto the back of Holty now. He's looking to try and make a move. That Mercedes will have the grunt on the Audi. Holty goes to defend him, but Maze can't obviously go that way. He's going to have to try a different way. Maze is one of those quite aggressive drivers. He will try and make any move.
Oh, he's got it done. He's got a cutback. Got a cutback on the final corner. Holty just ran his normal line, and Maze kept it tighter. And I think the Mercedes power will do the Audi down the straight, but we'll wait and see. That's Dean in front, who's a lap down nearly already. And Maze pulls in front of Holty. Job done. But Holty comes back at him. Great manoeuvre.
Yeah, but Maze is going to get the run as well. He's going to be on the outside, but he will have the inside for the next corner. But they're still going to make contact.
Bit of a touch, and can they keep it together now? Holty just losing the rear there and goes around. Not a lot in that for me, Dan. It was a racing incident for sure.
It was a bit tempting for Holty to go right around the outside of Maze. Maze had the corner covered, so Maze obviously goes and takes the lead. Now, can he get back-to-back race wins, or will the Team Prolapse Renaults give him hard time? Maze is slowed right down. Is he trying to give the place back to Holty? Does he think he's in the wrong?
Argent in the pits with his big damage. 10-second time penalty for his pit stop as well, because he sped in the pit lane now. Like you say, Maze is definitely slowing here.
He's dropped off.
He has dropped off. He's giving Holty the position. He feels he was in the wrong with Holty there, and he's giving Holty the place back. Now, I thought that was very 50-50 if you ask me, but he is going to give Holty the place back. Well, respect to Maze Gamer then. Joe gets past DJ Phil, does he, into the hairpin. They're side by side as they come out the corner a bit further back. Can Joe go the longer way around? He may now be able to battle Maze Gamer then, as Maze Gamer's dropped from 1st to 4th. I thought, Dan, that was very 50-50. Maze clearly thought he was in the wrong.
Well, it's obviously you don't know in that situation. Maybe he did have a snap and maybe made contact with him. You just don't know. But Maze obviously going the more cautious route. He knows he's got the pace, so he's just being a bit cautious. Maybe he's thinking, right, I can pass these cars.
Oh, he's gone deep.
Oh, yeah, he's got deep. He's going to be struggling to get past Holty. Holty in that Audi. Now he's got a setup. Looks a little bit stronger. But while these lot are fighting, they're just allowing the Renaults of Team Prolapse to get away.
They are. Now Maze has got back ahead because Holty had a bit of a wiggle coming through the penultimate corner. That's allowed Phil and Joe on the back of these two as well. But at the minute, the two Renaults, 1-2, and are away here. 4 seconds up the road. Argent a lap down and still being repaired.
Yeah, Argent's penalty damage has really affected him now. Joe looking to look down the inside of DJ Phil. So can he do anything about Phil? He's been stuck behind him for a while as Phil goes deep. and he's going to have to lose the place there as Phil goes straight. Oh, as he goes.
Oh, I tell you what, that was an unsafe rejoin from DJ Phil there. That was terrible. He nearly took the back of Joe out there.
Was that Dean getting out of the way of everyone? Yes, it is. He's trying to get out of the way of this pack, but looks like he does so. But Maze Gamer looks like he might be struggling a little bit in this race. Holty is pressurising him, and now Joe has caught onto the back of Holty and Maze Gamer. So can Joe do anything about these up? But the thing is, though, while these guys are too busy fighting one another, Nicky and Kelly minding their own business and just being quiet and doing their thing. Maze, is that Maze? No, I think
that's Joe. Joe's had a moment, so he was on the back of his rival from race 1. He's had a moment and has dropped behind Stealth Sloth then. Well, you cannot predict this race, can you? It is anybody's game at the minute, and that has released Maze and Holty. That has given them the no pressure for them to now. Well, mistake after mistake here. Just that little bump up in temperature maybe of race 2 is causing these cars to have some real tyre problems here, because early on, drivers are making individual errors. We didn't see Argent's, but wow, this is incredible.
Yeah, definitely so. And the thing is, with the hotter temperatures, with it being a little bit more difficult, what car is it going to benefit? This one.
Renault, yeah.
With it being a little bit hotter, the Renault's a lot nicer to its tyres. Unlike the Mercedes and the Audi, it's going to be a more difficult race for Maze Gamer. He's coming up to his, technically his A-team drivers. So, because obviously Prolapse is the A-team and Prolassi is technically the B-team. So he's got to pass his superiors. But how easy are they going to make it? Is Team Order's going to come in? Is
Dean's
Nicky
in the
and Kelly
pits
gonna have this sixth
again.
position?
Now, why is Dean in the pits again? I mean, that car doesn't seem to be damaged.
It's crabbing.
Oh, no, it is, yeah. Look at the front of it. Yeah, you can see it's crabbing. So Dean's had another off then. Not a night again for Dean Wasocki. After qualifying well in both races, the races have turned out to be very, very poor. Holty then is going strong at the minute. Argent's back in front of Dean. Dean looks like he's in for another long stop. Holty, can he stay with Maze? He's just being dropped slightly now. That gap just over a second. He's got 4 seconds to DJ Phil as Rabbit Joe's back ahead of Stealth Sloth a bit further behind. So Joe will be looking to hunt down DJ Phil once again. Let's go Iron Brew Racing. Come on, Holty, keep it on the track, says Mazda in the chat. Don't know mate's back up to 9th after his earlier problems in this race as well, and he's looking to get on the back of Welch, only 3 seconds behind, but the Prolapse cars at the minute well out in front now. Kelly, clear left, clearly playing rear gunner to Nicky in this one. Will he just think of holding Nicky up a little, Maze Gamer up in this one to keep...
Maze has got a twitch.
Yeah, very big twitch. I think, will Kelly play that rear gunner, Dan? You know him better than me. Will he play the rear gunner for Nicky here?
I don't know. Nicky was very, very fair to him last season. He was looking after him all season. We are at the start of the season as well, so it's kind of every man for himself. I know myself and Biggs were kind of like, we'll go through the season, we'll be fair with one another, and then when we get to near the end, we will see who's on top and kind of defend the other person. But I don't know. At this state of play, Nicky's never had a win here at Simplay Motorsport, so possibly Kelly will be the rear gunner. He will be looking after Nicky possibly, so that maybe Nicky can get that monkey off his back and finally get a win as Kelly's straight into the pits.
Yeah, so no, he won't be he won't stay ahead then. He's going to pit at the end of lap 6 and gets the car slowed down. He's going to allow Maze Gamer to have free reign at Nicky then. And 1.5 seconds. Yeah, he really is. Really is.
Nicky, as Rabbit Joe comes in as well. So this is what I'm talking about. The Renaults, they may not have overall top speed here, but they do seem to be having the consistency. They can stay at the 2:01, 2 minutes consistently and not make mistakes. They can keep it going. While the likes of the Mercedes and the Audi will overheat its tyres and struggle. As well, she is also into the pits as well. Kelly is done. Where is he going to come out on track? Does he get clear air? He's got the... I think it's Argent, so he's got Argent as traffic, but that is it. So he just needs to do a couple of laps on his own, and he should be able to pump in some decent lap times and stay ahead of these guys. But right now, Maze has got other problems now. Holty's coming back.
Holty is coming back at him, and the interesting thing to note here is this Mercedes just doing its tyres now? This stage of the race last time, Joe had spun and had gone off the back of Maze Gamer, so Maze could back off and look after his tyres a little bit. But at the minute, he's got a lot of pressure by Holty, and he's just having a bit of a wiggle through the corners again there through the hairpin. Struggling there then, Dan, through the hairpin then, really struggling big time. And Oh, wow. Kieran, during his long pit stop, has just sent me the incident. He did actually get caught up with Phil. That one is a nasty one. He's ahead of Dean Wasaki then, and well ahead of Dean Wasaki. Dean not having a night to remember, but May struggling on tyres here. That's allowed Nicky to just gap him ever so slightly again this lap as well. Dan, May's been gapped by Nicky by a good couple of tenths here. May's game is struggling on the corners.
Yeah, and I think at this minute, what's helping Nicky out a little bit is that Holty is now starting to hustle the back of Mays. Holty's not close enough yet to really give in any issues.
Nicky's
he's just there. Nicky's in. So these two are getting their piss off. He's seen the window that Kelly has come out in. Kelly is on his own. So there's no issues, there's no problems. He will come out in front of him, and there's no traffic in the way. Now, Mays is on his own, and look at Holty's lap time. He is matching Mays' gamer now. He is able to stick to the back of him, and is able to give him a bit of a headache. The question is, though, how long can these two go until they have to go, right, we now need to cover Nicky and Kelly. Nicky's in, and he's gone.
Yeah, good pit stop from Nicky. Will he get ahead of Kelly? I think he should do, shouldn't he? He should come out just behind Argent. As who else is in the pits? Don't know, mate. Drops himself into the pit set. So in he comes at the end of lap 7 as well to do his mandatory pit stop.
Actually, Kelly's jumped Nicky.
Oh, wow. So Kelly then, running in that free air, has been able to put in a great outlap and has jumped Nicky then. So is the fact that these boys have that clear air and that clear space on track going to help them jump Mays Gamer then? Because don't forget, Kelly was ahead of Mays Gamer on track. The undercut could be the way to go. When does Mays think about pitting? And we've seen him struggle at this hairpin the last couple of laps. Can Mays get the job done coming down here? Can he make sure he gets through the corner without a bit of a slide? He's deep again, and again that rear end just looks like it's sliding out a little bit. He said in his interview, Dan, that the rear tyres was the concern. Well, that's not going to help them.
No, definitely not. And you can see Holty is just matching him through that section there. Nicky is now catching on to the back of his teammate of KLF. But obviously, Kelly getting that early pit stop, getting it done out of the way. Good in lap and a good out lap. He's managed to jump his own teammate. These two are now fighting for the race win. They're still technically ahead, but I would say Mays and Holty's lap times would say otherwise. They're starting to lap a little bit quicker than them. Yeah. So if they're quick enough and they get in the pits now and not make any mistakes, they should jump Kelly and Nicky.
The thing with the Mercedes is we saw their tyres go off towards the end of the race. Mays Gamer doesn't pit. Holty's teammates has left the pit, so in comes Holty now at the end. Oh, he's had a spin on pit entry! Oh no, Holty's had a spin on pit entry, and that's really ruined his chances of a podium, at least in this race. There goes DJ Phil. Sloth's going to come flying past, if not into the pits then. No, he's going to go past as well. Nicky and Kelly will get past Holty like a breeze. Where will Holty feed out? This is the big question. Drops it on pit entry.
Sloth and DJ Phil. Obviously, these two coming past now. So it depends if he's got major damage as well. So this has allowed Mays to now be on his own and just lap his own consistent lap times. Be on his own. Kelly doing a flat 0.5, so he's not far off Mays' pace. But Holty now coming out the pits, and he's going to lose out massively to the Prolapse boys.
It seemed a good stop from Holty as well, that did. It didn't seem a bad stop. He's even lost that to Rabbit Joe.
Jump. Yeah.
Oh, Holty, what a shame, because if the length of that pit stop, he could have possibly been in the middle of Kelly and Nicky.
Yeah, he probably would have, as Smithy's now into the pits as well for the Z4. I feel for Smithy here. Now on his lows himself in probably one of the most difficult cars to drive, but he's still giving it a go. He's still going, and fair play to him.
Yeah, nice to see Smithy here each week, even though he's on his own. What a shame, but trying his all and trying to improve as he goes is Smithy. It's nice to see then as Mays coming up to the back straight now. Will he pit at the end of this lap? Go Mays, says Rashid. Sorry if I've Ratchidas. There we go then. Apologies for the mispronunciation.
I believe the Sim Zone, and also he used to race at Motive as well. So he's a regular of some of these guys as well. So we know him very, very well, and he's always up to date on what's going on here as well.
Well, welcome along as Adam got up in the chat. Mazda just puts a few smacking of your own face emojis in the chat as Mays then comes into the pits the end of lap 9. Oh, I thought he'd sped up just towards the end of the pit line. I thought he was going to get a penalty. DJ Phil then looks like he'll get the jump on Mays, as probably will Stealth Soft. Now the question is, these two, where will these two feed out compared to Mays Gamer? He's had a few good... Oh, he's had a fantastic... No, he hasn't stopped yet. Did he pull into the wrong pit box here? Was there another pit crew out?
No, he's just going down the main straight there. So instead of sticking to the route, has he just gone into neutral? Yeah, he might have gone into neutral there.
Yeah.
Kelly's only now coming through the final corner.
I think
Mays is there.
I think Kelly may have him here because he was coming through the final corner when Nicky was leaving the pits. I think this is going to be close. I think Kelly and Nicky could. No, they're not going to do it, are they? They're going to have the pace going down the straight. This is going to be so close between Mays, Nicky and Kelly. Kelly's going to take the race lead in Heritage in the minute. And Nicky then, did he get round the outside of Mays? No, Mays splitting the Team Prolapse Renaults here. And Nicky then has to feed into P2. What is net? Sorry, net P3. But Kelly at the minute leading this one before the pit stops.
Mays has to be careful here. These are the few cars he does not want to be hitting right now. They're technically his teammate, but obviously not actual. As Nicky goes down the inside of Mays.
Oh, he's got up the inside of the first sector. He's just going to run him out of road there. Great racing from these two. Great respect. Mays is keeping it there and stays back on the inside of Nicky then. And that is great stuff. Nicky trying to hang it around the outside, but I feel that Nicky had to get the job done early. Well. Rabbit Joe, he's on his way. Nicky had to get the job done early because Mays is like a hawk and he's pouncing on his prey. Job done. Kelly's going to have to lunge one from there, I think, to get back in front, because I think Mays will disappear. Can he get it stopped at the hairpin? A bit twitchy from Mays, and Kelly catches right back up.
Yeah, this is it. Kelly and Nicky need to stick with Mays. Mays has made mistakes before. What's going on with Nicky? He just slowed down a little bit there. But Mays really needs to be cautious now. These cars will be sitting there. They'll be fine on their tyres. They will look after their tyres till the end. And he really does have to be careful with these cars. But Rabbit Joe has brought himself back into this race. He could still win this. He's in an opportunity where if anything happens in front, and don't forget, guys, he's taking double points. So he wants every position he can gain so that he's able to have a better chance later on in the season.
No, I think Kelly and Nicky's chances of getting Mays are gone now. Mays has gapped them, and that's job done. It's now try and fight for. Oh, it still can happen. Long way to go. Anything can happen. But I think they need that mistake from Mays for this Renault to get past. I don't think it's got the straight line speed to get the job done here, Dan. DJ Phil leading this one from Stoke Sloth. Them two guys still have to pit. And they're the only two left to pit. Dean is in a wall and not moving.
He's going to have to be careful if he decides to rejoin on track.
Yeah, but, I think, Mays, is he waiting for them to come round?
I don't think he's moving. I think he's just staying there, to be fair. But Rabbit Joe, look at his last lap, a 59.1. He has brought this gap down. He is lapping 2 seconds faster than the two Renault boys. The Renaults just don't have the pace to run with these Mercedes. They got a couple of options here. They can take the points, and let's be honest, considering the Renault would be struggling here, it's very, very good points for these cars, especially at this circuit. But do they take the points, or will they try and fight Joe off as long as they can? Because they got to think, Joe's taking double points. The more points they take away from him, the less he's going to gain on them. So they're really going to have to play a game here of what they want to do for now. Or
Joe's coming. Joe's coming. He's having a look up the inside at Nicky into the hairpin. Will he get it stopped and turned in? He will, you know, but has he got the job done? I don't think so, because Nicky will be up the inside onto the next part of the corner, and that is Nicky, job done. Daniel Francis back into the pits, and so what's happened to Daniel then? Dean has got going in this race, and he's going again. Joe coming back up the inside of Nicky, and now it's job done for Rabbit Joe, and he's got this little back straight. Looks a bit smashed up on the front. I wonder suspension damage maybe for Daniel Francis, but Joe then.
That's going to hamper DJ Phil though. So when does Phil come in? The thing is, Daniel Francis is in the pit. So that means DJ Phil won't be able to pit for a while until that repair is done. So DJ Phil obviously having to stay out a little bit longer now due to the fact that his teammate's been in the wars. But Mays Gamer now starting to gap these guys.
Mace Gamer starting to gap them, and like we said, it takes that mistake for them to get back, to get on the pace. We saw Joe towards the end of the race catch Mace Gamer. Is he going to do the same thing? Holty, what could have been for him? Could he have jumped them Renaults like Mace Gamer did? He made that mistake coming into the pits. His teammate's P9, so a good showing at the minute from the Iron Brew Racing boys. Big damage again, my bad. If I come out near Phil, it's coincidence, but I don't think I will anyway. Okay. Not sure why you'd come out near Phil, but yeah. All right.
Phil is long gone. Phil's leading this race. One car's in the pits while serving a 10-second penalty, and also repairing his. Oh, sorry, no, that was Argent who's got the 10-second penalty. Daniel Francis obviously in the pits and major damage. Rabbit Joe now still trying to hunt on the back of KLF. while these guys are holding him up, Mays is getting away, and he could take the double here.
Yeah, he could take the double. Can he take a clean sweep? Obviously, you don't get a clean sweep of poles, but can he take both fastest laps and both race wins? That's what we're classing as the clean sweep here, because you can't take that race to pole position. This one's very, very interesting, though. Can he get this job done? Nicky trying to stay with Rabbit Joe and KLF, but that Mercedes down this straight is fantastic.
This could be interesting.
Yeah, I was just about to say, May's catching Stealth Sloth for position here. This isn't a lapped car. This is for position, so... We saw Stealth Sloth a bit risky, if you will, in race 1. This could be interesting going into this second race. May's going to look... Oh, he has to avoid him a little bit there under the brakes. So down the back straight we go now.
This is what Mays don't want. He don't want to get involved with another car. Stealth Sloth obviously will probably let him go, and by the looks of things, I think he will.
Yeah.
It's not his race. It's not his fight. So he's let Mays go, but he did hamper him a little bit. That's going to allow Kelly to get a little bit closer to Mays, but not much. But Mays, there is always a mistake in Mays, as Rabbit Joe had a look at Kelly there. So this is what Mays will need as well. He needs Rabbit Joe to start hustling these pro laps, boys, as Stealth Sloth gets himself out of this fight and out of the way. Rabbit Joe looked down the inside, but obviously there's no opportunity for him there, so we will see how things go. But he gets a better run out the final corner.
Oh, he hasn't.
And with that straight line advantage of the Mercedes, he should be able to out-drag that Renault.
There he comes down the start straight. I think they're just coming side by side together now. No, he hasn't actually. Joe hasn't got the job done, but he cuts to the inside, and they just make contact there. And Joe's round. He's lost it in. He keeps it out the wall just about. Now, 50-50 again for me. Kelly was taking his line. Joe came across the front of him on a late move. I think Joe's come off worse, but 50-50 if you ask me on that one again there, Dan. I think...
I don't know.
Compared to race 1 where Kelly lunged on Dean, I think that one was Joe being too optimistic.
I think Kelly could have given a little bit more room, personally. I think he could have given him a bit more space. He would have had the inside for the next corner, but that's just my opinion. Rabbit Joe's lost out massively because of that now, but yeah, Nicky is now gained from it.
Joe's got Holty to deal with as well now. Holty close to the back of Joe. Kelly has Nicky to deal with now. Will Kelly let Nicky go? DJ Phil still not pitted yet, by the way. Stealth Sloth came out 7th place, so not bad for Stealth Sloth, and he's well in front of his teammate by a good 5 seconds here.
Yeah, Nicky had a little bit of a sniff of his teammate here, but this is a problem. They're going to start racing each other, and that's just going to allow Rabbit Joe to get back onto him, while DJ Phil is still out leading this race. He's
doing a good job.
He's doing a decent job. He's on his own. He's not being troubled. He's just doing his laps, and I think eventually he will be coming into the pits as either this lap or the next one. So DJ Phil, he's going to score big here. It's just how big it's going to reward him. He'll probably come behind Holty as DJ Phil carries on, and he will have to pit on a penultimate lap.
So he's got to pit next lap. He's got Argent just behind him then, as Argent's trying to get ahead of Smithy then. Nicky versus KLF, the two teammates. They came together, don't forget, when Kelly was rolling backwards last week. Nicky couldn't get out of the way and caught Kelly. They made contact there. They made contact at Silverstone last year. Can they stay out of trouble this season? As Rabbit Joe has just got ahead of Holty a little bit then here. And he's just bringing himself onto the back of this fight once again. Now then, the slipstream for Nicky against Kelly. Joe couldn't get past Kelly in a straight line into turn 1. Nicky just closing slightly though, Dan. Kelly must have that car set up beautifully in a straight line.
Yeah, I think both of these boys are running the same setup. They've somehow managed to reduce the aero a little bit and given them an opportunity to just have a little bit of a defence down the main straight. Obviously, it's hampered their cornering a little bit due to it, but they're able to follow one another without it affecting them too much. And I think Nicky is just playing rear gunner. He's not really looking for a do-or-die move. He's just sat there as Nicky gets a twitch there a little bit there, but he's just sat there. He's just covering Kelly. Is he having a look down the inside here?
Yeah, he was having a look, wasn't he? He was, like you say though, he doesn't seem to put too much pressure on him. Now, like you said earlier, early doors and teammates being teammates, these have came together in the past. Why not follow each other home or see what happens? They've got to make sure that they don't fight. Are they not fighting hard because Joe is coming? Because that would seem a sensible move, to not fight too hard and get Joe back on your rear end.
Possibly, as Nicky did have a better break in there and had maybe a sniffing opportunity, but Joe is going to literally, by the time he catches these two, he's going to have one lap.
Yeah.
One lap only to get past them, as Joe has a twitch there.
Very interesting wiggle for Joe. Now Phil has to get himself into the pits. He's catching Smithy. He's got Argent right behind him. There's Smithy, there's Phil, there's Argent. So Argent and Smithy will be battling for position, you imagine. as they will get 2 laps to go. So Phil then does come into the pits on lap 14. Where will he feed out then? Around Stove-Sloth, we reckon, in P7. We reckon the top 6 will get past. But then Mays has 1 lap to lead here to get this job done. Now look at Joe. He's on the back of these 2 again, starting to reel them in a little bit. Nicky's under a second to him. Has Nicky made a mistake? Because that gap to Kelly's a bit bigger. Mays then takes the race lead. Here comes Kelly, Nicky, Joe and Holty. And then we assume Phil will come out just behind Holty then, or a bit behind Holty.
Yeah, Holty's still in this. He's still got an opportunity of gaining a podium position. If anything happens to these lot, we obviously saw Kelly and Joe come together a little bit, so possibly there's an opportunity if they come tagging one another again. But Nicky wants to hold on. He wants to be on that podium. They want to score decent points. Joe obviously wants to benefit as much as he can from the double points. But at the minute, Kelly's looking good for that second, but Nicky has to do the most defensive drive of his life, and he needs to make sure that Renault is as wide as it possibly can. They're going to struggle down the back straight, but he's got to make it wide. He has to defend the inside.
Yeah, he's got to make it wide. He's got to get a good run out this left-hander coming up then. DJ Phil came out the pits well ahead of Stove-Sloth, a good 7 seconds in front. So Phil then looks like he's going to take a pair of 6th places tonight on what is a good outing for the Piston Broke team and DJ Phil. Now Joe was a bit wide on the exit to the corner. Didn't get the greatest of runs onto this back straight and isn't really gaining on them Renaults like we saw Mays Gamer and Argent breeze past the Renaults. We're not seeing Joe do that. Is he looking for a bit of a lunge? He's too far back to make it work. I think Holty's made a mistake somewhere because he's dropped off the back a little bit as well. Mays Gamer then, he is coming down to the back straight at the second sector, lapping Argent and Smithy, who are battling for position as well. Argent's got that one done on Smithy, but here comes Kelly and Nicky and Rabbit Joe, all interested in this run for the final podium place in this race and for a good few points for team, outscoring Forever Forward quite an amount in this race, but Joe making up for that with his double points. These two, though, will have double points to come later in the season. As Joe looking to the outside of Nicky, can he get a cutback? But it's not going to matter. This man with a flash of the lights already, he has been on a different level tonight, Dan, and he's going to take the race win here. Back-to-back wins for Mays Gamer. He's done it in style. Gamer. Smithy then span at the final corner. He comes across the line in P11 for Smithy. Good result for him then. Kelly is going to hang on to a P2. First podium of the season. Nicky as well will join him on that podium in P3. Joe just didn't have enough at the end for the P4. Holty across the line. P5. What a shame for him because he was looking decent early doors. Span on the pit entry. Otherwise it could have been more for Holty then. DJ Phil Green looks like he's going to take P6. Good result for him. And Daniel Francis there just behind him as well, a lap down in P12. They're going to do a bit of a piston broke across the line team photo. Yeah, flash of the lights together. Lovely little team photo there for Phil. And for Daniel Francis, Welsh, he got himself out of Stove-Sloth at the very end. So we're going to get an MC Motorsport photograph as well. Welsh, Stove-Sloth 8th. And then we go to Don't Know Mate, who's had a decent night tonight. A pole position, looked good in race 1, looked all right in race 2. A P9 he's going to get as we wait for Argent. Smithy's done and Daniel Francis done. Oh, we wait for Dean as well. So Don't Know Mate. Yeah, sorry, Dan.
Don't Know Mate is really improving. Obviously, just the second round, the first time he's been racing in this championship, and he's done a fantastic job nonetheless. So a pole position in race 2, and he comes home to get another 9th place position. So solid points for Don't Know Mate. Argent, not been his night in the race 2. Race 3 was well. He just made a couple errors here and there, but nonetheless, Argent still bringing points home for Forever Forward, still scoring the points. But Rabbit Joe obviously doing the hard work. Matt, driver of the day for you, mate. Who's it going to be?
Driver of the day. Do you know what? It's hard to look past Mays Gamer. I don't normally like to give it to the race winner, but he's had to work hard for his race wins tonight, so I'm going to say Mays.
You're going to say, wait, I would have to agree with Mays, but shout out to this man, Nicky.
Yeah.
He has been unbelievably consistent tonight. 4th place and a 3rd place at a circuit where the Renault would struggle. So a massive congratulations to him. Rabbit Joe, obviously, Argent, and DJ Phil as well for race 2. He was consistent, he stayed on his own, and he scored decent points for Piston Broke.
Fastest lap of the race. Sorry, not fastest lap of the race. Mace Gamer, 58.1, so just getting the fastest laps. Taking a clean sweep, 2 fastest laps, 2 race wins. Let's get Kelly and Nicky in the chat for a quick interview and hope that Maze Gamer joins us back once again. But yeah, you're right, Dan. Honourable mentions to Kelly, to Nicky, sorry, DJ Phil and Rabbit Joe as well. Holty had a better second race. Maybe what could have been, maybe he would have been in that fight a little bit more had he not span. towards the pit lane. As Dan has managed to get it done for me. Good lad. But
yeah, definitely an interesting night for the Pro-Ams, and it's going to be an interesting night for the pros tomorrow. What could be for them tomorrow, as Gary and Little Leach in the Renault as well be looking to try and kind of repeat what KLF and Nicky has done here this evening, possibly. Obviously, Jamie returning. Mazda will be here for Ironbury Racing as well. Sadly, I won't have a teammate tomorrow night. It's just going to be me for Team Shake and Bake, as D-Biggs is enjoying his lovely cruise. I'm kind of jealous of him, but I'm going to have to do it out all on my own. But we have now got Nicky and Kelly in us within the party, Matt. Do you want to take over?
So Nicky, we're going to start with you first of all. Third place. You was well in front of your teammate at one stage. I bet you didn't expect him to jump you after the pit stop.
No, it was a good, it was a good pit stop strategy there for Kelly. But no, it doesn't matter. In the day, we show that we can do this. You know what I mean? So I'm well happy with that. Well happy with that result.
The Renault, not the Yeah, the Renault, not the strongest of choices, me and Dan were saying around this track, and well, used to. It's just proved that wrong, haven't you?
Well, it's planted,
yeah,
like me and Kelly was saying, proper planted, but it's lacking in that speed, lacking in power.
Yeah, I think we saw on the stream where Mays and Arjun went past you at one stage, and it was as if you were standing still.
yeah. When Mays went past us the second time towards the end, that was ridiculous. Quite embarrassing, really, but.
Nicky, do you feel like this season you and Kelly in this Renault could really take the championship? Obviously, ditching the Porsche, getting rid of that, and replacing it with a completely obscure, different car. You seem a lot more confident in this car. You seem more confident in the car, and you could have had your first win tonight. And did a little bit of team play come in towards the end there?
We just kept it safe. Rabbit Joe was catching up with me, so towards the end, it was Kelly stayed on the race line. I went off the race line to stop Rabbit Joe coming down the inside of me and basically protect each other. So yeah, we just stuck together. It worked so well as a team. The pair of us were brilliant.
Were there a couple of was there also a couple of team orders to Mays, possibly? Obviously, being a Pro Lassie driver.
No, you can't really chuck him into that. But no, Mays done really well. Fair play. He's quick. He's always been quick, very quick. The Mercedes is just ridiculously fast down them straights. Through the corners, we're keeping up with them, but
yeah. Well done, mate. We look forward to seeing what you can do at Indianapolis next week. And we got Sticky in the box. He'll be back tomorrow night for the commentary. But he said to me off air before we joined, he says, "I'll see you on the podium." And you're on the podium, second place. Got the jump on your teammate, but there's a bit of argy-bargy out there with yourself and Rabbit Joe towards the end of that one.
Was there? I didn't notice. Not bad for a car that hasn't got pace, eh? Me and Nicky have been pretty much on the same pace all evening. We basically run our own race this evening and just stayed on the track. That Renault is fantastic in the corners, but as Nicky said, down the straights, I mean, Mays just passed me like I stood still. There was no defence for it. Really, really pleased with that. To be fair, I say I see you on the podium every week, but this tonight seems to be true.
Just to obviously go back to the tyre issues. Obviously, Mays and the others in the Mercedes were saying that they were struggling. With the Renault being slightly different, were either of you two struggling with tyres, or was the Renault very good on its tyres?
Struggling with the tyres if I'm being fair, maybe towards the last couple of laps, I had a moment where the tyres, like for one lap, were a little bit kind of more loose, but I just kind of backed out of it a little bit and let the tyres do their thing and come back into the window. But I could have done another 20 laps on those tyres, no problem at all.
How was the race tonight, Kelly? Obviously, we did it in the night a few weeks ago. We're now back in today. Did it seem different in the daytime? Was it affecting the tyres more?
Not for us, and I'm sure Nicky will back me up on this. What the Renault lacks in straight line speed, it has in handling and on its tyres. As I said, it was great on its tyres all night tonight. Like probably everybody else, by the time you get up to the top of the end of the sector 1, you get a bit of a yellowness to the front left, but that then just clears away down the back straight, and on it goes lap after lap after lap. So. This Renault's really suiting my style, do you know what I mean? That consistency and lap after lap. I don't think at any point I'm going to set the timing sheets on fire, but the consistency, it's awesome for that.
Well, we go to Indianapolis Road Course next week, just because we've not got Maisie, and just wanted to get both of your opinions on that next week for the Renault. Do you think you stand a bit more of a chance, maybe, of a fight with the Mercedes-Benz?
Actually, going to smash it.
yeah, I'm with Nicky. Team Prolats, we're going to smash it. I think me and Nicky have got a good team. You know, you were saying on the commentary, I was listening to the commentary, and you know, you were saying about are they going to race each other, blah blah blah. There's no team orders. There's no messing around. We're working on the same page for the same common goal. So. Indianapolis, bring it on. We'll see how we go.
Well done, mate. Maze has just joined us. Maze, clean sweep, 2 fastest laps, 2 wins. But again, not the easiest race for yourself.
Yeah, it wasn't easy at all.
You also got the vote for driver of the day, mate, from me and Dan and the guys in the chat. So congrats on that. But you've got to be happy with the 2 race wins.
Yeah. Who wouldn't be happy in my place?
Indianapolis. Sorry, go on.
I'm extremely happy because it's a full Pro Labs podium.
Indeed. Going forward to Indianapolis next week, just ask Kelly and Nicky, what's your thoughts on the Indianapolis road course?
I raced there for Motive, I think, for one time, and it wasn't good. I didn't finish.
Well, we hope you finish next week, and we wish you the best of luck, buddy.
I need some practice.
Well, best of luck, mate. Dan, any final thoughts from yourself?
Well, once again, the Dubai Autodrome has put on a brilliant show once again, and look forward to going to Indianapolis for Pro-Am. But for myself and the Pro guys, we got to get prepped and ready for tomorrow night.
Yeah, the Pro will be live tomorrow night, live at 8 PM BST, with Sweet and Sticky in your box once again. We'll be back live Friday night. We'll be back, again on Friday night. We'll be back for the first round of the Indy cars at the Texas Road Course. So we look forward to seeing that one. But we'll be back with a Pro-Am next week at Indianapolis, as we say. We're flying stateside, and Indianapolis, the Brickyard. What's going to happen around there? Follow everybody at Simplay Motorsport. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for liking and subscribing. We'll catch you next time. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.